would you take us in today?
Previously on a Dark Heresy.
Very good. Episode 41. Bayou Boot Camp. It was the 4th day after the orbital assault. Jan went to the Peruvian quarter, continued getting us tattoos from the talented Nahiro. He spoke with Kiyoshi about the state of things on board the ship. A mutiny was brewing, and Jan's actions may be those to light the tinderbox. Kiyoshi seemed torn, although he was the Inquisitor's sworn bodyguard. He was not blind to the strange things happening on board the ship. He counseled that those who preached the God Emperor's words had a tendency to vanish. And this wasn't unique to this campaign into the Expanse. The two of them ended the conversation in the hope that they would not be on the opposite sides of this war when it inevitably erupted. Arnold put a batch of Orpheans through a screening process. Many of them were beyond hope, either simple or too far gone on moonshine, or stricken with palsy. Arnold reasoned that these could be converted into servitors. But amongst the others, there was a fine hall. All manner of skilled and unskilled labour could be found. And, Arnold believed, one unsanctioned psyker, or witch, to use the swamp dwellers' terminology. One of the Orpheans, Sam Cobb, had an easy way with words and told a filthy joke. Arnold couldn't help but think of Quintius, even though the noble and the swamp dweller were so different in so many ways. All in all, Arnold had a productive day. It seemed that there were all sorts to be found amongst the Orpheans, and they were keen to pull their weight. Perhaps the decision to bring them on board was not so foolish after all. If only the others would come to accept them. Alexa put her new recruit, Dieter, to smelting drachma down into copper. Alexa had called an amnesty on the Orphean currency, declaring it to be corrupt and contaminated, and that all coins were to be handed in to the technical workshop. And it seems as if a great many of the stormtroopers or Benny without an invite. Not know how. Benny was not to be disturbed. Alexa seemed furious. She was used to getting her own way. But not even the Inquisitor could come strolling into engineering, they bragged. Alexa checked the schematics for another route in, but engineering seemed to be locked down tight. The doors were defended with troops and gun servitors. Alexa toyed with the idea of opening the airlocks. But then her logic circuits kicked in. Such an action would have terrible consequences. And, more importantly, was not likely to win over the engineers to her cause. Not every problem could be solved with the cold, hard embrace of the void. She retreated, defeated for now, and went back to her work upon the great chain axe, and the work so far was exceptional. Quintius received a warning from Laura not to let the Master of Coins see him in such a beaten-up condition. He still had a thick ear from Arnold Stormsinger. Laura would not hear a bad word said about Cassandor, and said that his talents were great. Once. He was just not suited to violence. He found it abhorrent. The actor popped to the medbay to get his ear seen to. Then he went back to training in two-weapon style. That night, the Acolytes chatted and planned. Yarn told of his meeting with the rebels. And Cell 53 plotted a means to support him in case he was ambushed. Alexa went to her secret chamber and she melded with a ship. She moved the server skulls away from the route that her allies would take. Yarn reached his destination. He did not think he was seen skulking the corridors. The man awaiting him did not name himself, but Yarn had seen the face that lay behind the disguise, thanks to his prescience. The mutineer tried to recruit Yarn to their side. Lucius was a foul heretic. The evidence was all around them. If he would only open his eyes. But Yarn sought hard proof. The man said that Spinebreaker had uncovered traces of a chaos cult. The Fellowship, who worshipped a demon king who went by many names, but chief amongst them was Asmodean. This cult had ties to House Alexander, he decreed. But as for hard proof, Lucius was too clever for that, by half. As far as Yarn could see, Lucius had recently tried to contain heretical items. Lies are the tool of the arch-enemy. Lucius was simply manipulating him. It was a ploy, nothing more. The man seemed well informed, or at least he claimed to be. Look to the ship, he said. He told Yarn that they believed the ship itself was an abominable intelligence, a sentient machine. And Yarn had seen this to be true in his vision, and it had been admitted to him by Jagannatha. The Inquisitor had purchased mutant slaves from the planet and was training them to be the shock troopers. But as to this, Yarn had no evidence. Lucius came back and again to this cursed region of space, seeking these paintings. The man asked for Yarn to have faith. And what of the missing sisters? Asked Yarn. Had they gone over to Spinebreaker? The man confided that yes, Sister Zarfe had turned her coat and now served on board the Holocaust. But as for Sister Clematis, Spinebreaker had wanted to recruit her, but she had gone missing without a trace. Yarn, the judge, stayed his judgment. He needed something more. Perhaps Lucius was a radical. Perhaps worse. Perhaps it was those around him. Yarn stayed his hand. He wanted to make the right decision. He wanted to pick the right side. Okay, so this is where we're going to begin today's game. And so where we're going to start is just at the end of the last game. Yarn, he speaks to the mysterious man, and he says, "I'm not going to try and do the Jamaican accent. He says, I need something concrete, says Jan, before I could work against my Inquisitor or against my colleagues. And the man says, I'll try and do what you ask. Life is not always so clear-cut. You'll have to pick a side, Jan. Everyone on board will have to pick a side. Let us hope that you pick the right one. Jan scoffed. When the time comes, you better be on my side. Don't you worry about anyone else. And with that, Jan walked away. The machinations of both Inquisitors sat ill with Jan. Both of them had tried to convert him to their cause. He didn't trust either of them. Both of them obfuscated. Both of them seemed to act on faith. The meeting wasn't a trap, it wasn't an ambush, and Jan quickly returned to Quintius and Arnold, who both awaited nearby, in case things had turned sour. Okay, guys, so this is where we're going to start. You're deep within the underdecks. Jan has just had his meeting with the Mutineer, and Arnold and Quintius were nearby, prepared in case it did turn sour, in case it was an ambush. You two are waiting to support him. Alexa is currently off in her secret room, and I was going to have her in on this bit, over the comms, but we'll say that you guys are talking, not over the comms, but just to each other.
Okay.
For the time being. We'll leave Alexa out for the time being. So this is where we're going to start today's game. And, so here you are. It's an abandoned part of the ship. Jan has just gotten away from his meeting, and he's met
Jan.
Guys.
What did you find out?
Well, it seems like we all know that there's agents of Spinebreaker on the ship. Looks like me taking out your boy Eric is maybe the catalyst for the rest of the loyalists to Spinebreaker.
You know where they're
rush to chaos.
You know where they're out. Maybe we can just purge them for the mutineer.
Be civil war all over the ship. I don't know how to figure out who's who betrayed us and who not be. That's not my the strength of.
I have an idea for you, Jan. Cook has offered me a trolley, and with this trolley you can gain amazing information off the ship and crew. When you feed them, they talk ridiculously much. No one wants to talk to me unless I've got food in my hand. And it seems to work for me, because everybody seems to really not want to talk to me. I don't know why. Peasants. Yeah, you can borrow
Dave,
that and maybe go find out
your
some
mic's
information.
muted, I think, Dave.
I haven't said anything yet.
Oh no, sorry. I thought I could see your mouth.
I was about
The
to.
dark-
And then I stopped.
The Sith Lord in that screen down there.
Oh, my bad. I thought I could see talking, Dave. But,
You're going to be using full mind tricks on us, are you, Dave? Don't force choke me through the camera. I'll be nice to you.
I was going to say something to Jan. I was going to say, oh yeah, Jan. Now, partly because I have a note written in front of me out of character, and also because it strikes me as a good way for Quintius to start talking. Someone once said something quite recently to me, that the truth does not hide in the shadows. The truth banishes darkness and shadow. Now, it strikes me that these people that seek to usurp the Inquisitor, if they were so righteous and faithful, would they really be sneaking about on an Imperial ship in the shadows and secretly trying to recruit people that obviously already work for the Inquisitor and, by extension, the Imperium?
How much do we know about like Ordo Civil War?
So the politics of the Tricom Palace are it's not something that you are likely to know as acolytes. There are a lot of politics between various different factions, Puritan versus radical, but this sort of thing it's not fully understood by the acolytes. Really, all they kind of know is that the Inquisitors are
It's high
the
level
ultimate
shit.
authority. Yeah, and I think you would need, if you wanted to understand more of that, I think there are skills specifically for that, like I can't remember what they call, like scholastic law, Inquisition,
Yeah.
perhaps, or things like that. So you've gathered some information over the course of this campaign, that there are factions, and at least there's a rivalry between these two Inquisitors. But as for the how the politics of the Tricon Palace lay, you really don't know. It's just not something you've ever been important enough to be involved with those kind of conversations.
It is likely that both sides think they are doing the right thing, and we all know that the Inquisitors think any means is necessary.
Perhaps they are both doing the right thing. Perhaps they're both two sides of the same coin. However, we need to be sure that we're
You
on
sure
the right
which
side.
coin to flip? Eh?
I've had an idea. Do you have a means of contacting these people again, Jan?
I could probably figure out who it was I was talking to. Well, he may be trying to get me concrete information on Lucius's heretical undertaking.
That's
So
all
he
well and
may
good.
contact me again anyway.
That's all well and good, Jan, but how do you know you can trust his information?
I don't, man. But multiple sources seem to think that the civil war is coming.
Exactly.
Bodes were ill. Well, we seem to have chucked our loss in with Lucius. I don't think we are wrong to do so. We
Not
need
at
to be
the
sure of
moment,
what we're doing.
but we don't know his ultimate purpose.
What have you seen, Jan? Your visions? Have you divined
No,
any?
I tried to seek guidance on the paintings and what it could mean, but I was forcibly ejected from the ritual. It is not possible to divine anything to do with the painting, the artifacts.
The bones.
They seem to be too powerful. They're clearly chaotic in nature.
The bones. Wait a
I
second.
wonder
The bones said no.
I wonder at why Lucius would have them. They seem quite nefarious.
What do you think's good? Well, when you talk, I can't help but copy your accent, Brownie. The kitchen comes out. Oh, what do you think? Think these paintings are evil? Gateway to another realm?
It's hard to
The
say.
realm of Hawkeye.
They are great items, and I don't know why he would collect them or what their purpose is, but I suspect they are heretical artifacts. But perhaps he thinks to use the heretical artifacts to destroy an even greater heresy. That is the nature of the radical Inquisitors.
I have no clue about radicals or anything like that.
Fire.
Well, that he has actually told you, as in you don't know whether you can trust him or not, but that is something that he has told you in one of the earlier games, is that the paintings are, the key to the miasma itself, to shutting the warp rift.
See, that can only be a good thing.
There's less warp things running around, the better.
That sounds to me like I'm metagaming a little bit here, as though we've already mentioned this, but that sounds to me like the actions of a loyal man, someone loyal to the throne, trying to close down a warp rift and prevent the agents of the Arch Enemy from using it for their own purposes. Surely.
Yes. Well, if there's too much water going into the sink, you need to turn the tap off.
What was that? You both spoke at the same time?
You're both talking at the same time, guys.
I'll go, Brownie.
I said, if that is the case, then it is a noble endeavor. It should be supported.
Indeed.
I
We
concur.
need to...
Nobody likes leaving the tap on running in the bath, otherwise it overflows.
A very good analogy, Arnold. But I can't help but wonder
Haven't got
what
any
it is
allergies.
that Spinebreaker wants. He claims to be a loyal man himself.
Yes, that is.
It's just the man who doesn't show you his face.
Well, I mean, some people hide their face for different... Wait a minute.
But, if a place is
I'm
ridiculously
having a
clean...
plan.
Let me just, while you think of this plan, let me just say, Spinebreaker's ship was ridiculously clean. You can't trust a man who keeps a ship that bloody clean. Anyway,
Maybe he has a lot of cleaning servitors.
I felt very uncomfortable on that ship.
I have an idea. What we need to do is learn more about Spinebreaker, what his intentions are, and also who aboard this vessel is loyal to him. What we need is a man on the inside who can feed us this information, learn this information. What we need is someone capable of infiltrating an organization unseen, unsuspected. A master of disguise, perhaps someone who can mimic the voice and movements of another man. If only we knew someone who had such skills. Oh, wait.
Second, good. Is it you, good yes?
I forgot I could do this.
That's amazing.
I'm just going to check whether the dog wants. The dog's whining, so I'm just going to see if it wants letting out. Telling me, sorry guys, you're doing great. I just need to go and the dog's just whining at me, so I'm just going to see if it wants a wee.
Yeah, no worries.
It may not want a wee. It
may just be annoying.
It may just be an annoying bitch.
I've seen your acting do all sorts of clever things, so I have full trust in it.
This is what I was made for, Quint Arnold. This is the reason I'm here, to infiltrate. I mean, that's part of the reason I'm here at all, is because I was infiltrating the clandestine organization, and it all spiraled out of control. But anyway, let's not dwell on that. What we need is... Assuming Yarn's new friend is someone of importance in the traitors, we need to be careful about replacing him. It would be too high profile. But the next time this man contacts you, Yarn, we need to somehow follow him, somehow learn an associate of his. Someone particularly similar in build and height to myself, preferably. And then we need to take him alive. And with time, I can mimic him and infiltrate this group of traitors.
Right. I'll tell you what, I could maybe do some footwork on this. But trolley. Yes, you want to help push the trolley, because you're much better at getting information people than I am, really. I can just be intimidating. They're good at social situations. As you know, Quintus, I am a bit highly strung.
I think we can all play a part in this. Yarn obviously already has the contacts and also has the ability, with absolutely no drawbacks, to do some incredible things with his mind.
Can you make sure it's out of the room when you do it?
Yeah. Alexa has access to the ship. Perhaps she can track these people through the ship using the ship's internal sensors or something. I don't know how these things work.
That's a very good idea.
If only she was here. If only she was here, she could tell us what she can do with the ship.
Alexa! 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 She's not responding on comms.
I imagine she's busy interfacing with something.
Yeah, it's probably flicking a cog.
What do you think, Jan? Do you think we can infiltrate this organization and learn more about them from the inside?
I think it's going to take some serious infiltrating.
That's what I'm good at. It is, out of character, literally what Quintus is built for.
I see an opportune moment here for you to shine, Quintus. Shine like the star you are. I was born to be.
I can disguise myself as other people of similar build, and I can even mimic their voice if I listen to them for long enough.
Easy. I'm just going to disappear and took my boss up.
Yeah, no worries.
Oh, did I miss anything, or did you? Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt the flow there. It was going really nicely, and then the dog just was like...
We're just discussing the potential and the possibility for Quintus trying to infiltrate the traitors, and also metagaming a little bit, saying if only Alexa was here, perhaps she could help us track this gentleman, this new friend, and find out who he meets with.
Yeah,
but then we tried her on the comms and she couldn't hear us for some reason.
Yeah, interference, obviously, this low down in the deck.
Yeah, definitely.
Or maybe she's up there just napping in that comfy little room with a chair.
Oh, I suddenly got music that I didn't have a minute ago.
It's been playing for a little while.
Yeah, right.
Just some background, a little bit of ambient. Welcome back in.
Welcome. Good to be back.
Okay.
I like the way you stroke that pussy, Dave.
All right.
It's like a very happy pussy.
What sort of time of day is it, Alan?
It's late in the evening. Perhaps it is around 9 o'clock. It's the end of day 4 power play. The days are flying by in a blur.
I have another idea. Jan, you would recognise this gentleman that you met with again, yes?
Was is he wearing a mask? Yeah.
Okay, right. So so a few things here. So the guy you just met was wearing some kind of mask, and he also had like a voice distorter. But you'd already seen his face thanks to your vision that you'd had in the session previously. So you've actually seen his face, and I think you guys tried to discover who he was on board the ship via means of his appearance, also his handwriting, because you had a letter, and you knew that he's got the uniform of a gunnery loader. So you tried to narrow down who this guy is on board, but you weren't able to do so. You used Alexa to go through the like the crew records. So you've tried to find him, but you haven't succeeded.
I have an idea.
If you saw his face, if you just saw his face on board, you would definitely know who he was, Jan.
Yeah, but how many crew members is there?
I think there's around, I'll have to check, I've got it here somewhere. I think it's around 9, is it around 9,000? Yeah, crew numbers here, it says it's approximately 8,000, but they have just taken on board another approximately, let's say, 800 Orpheans, so it's best part of 9,000.
Right. So we couldn't find any record of him using Alexa and the ship.
Yeah, well, you were trying to narrow him down from his appearance and his handwriting, so you couldn't find him ever writing anything down and it going on record, and there wasn't anything concrete, but you didn't have much to go on. So Alexa made a tech use test and she failed that particular one, so it just came up a dead end, that line of inquiry.
But I have an idea. Could always serve food on the gunnery section.
Yep.
And be all holy while I do it. Unless everybody with Aquila to see if anybody bites for my bait.
Well, what I'm thinking is, what if you were to take Jan along with you on one of these escapades to the gunnery loading decks, and as you're serving food, and maybe Jan can keep an eye out for this gentleman if he knows what he looks like.
That sounds like a good idea. Would you be up for that, Jan?
Yeah, man. Let's go check it out.
Meals on wheels. We get to eat health all day.
Now, there may be another way of finding his identity too, but we'll try this one first. So now, if that's what we're going to try, the next thing we have to discuss is what are we going to do if we find him?
First off, not approach him directly. I wouldn't. First off, we need to like as with a rat with bait. You need to mark it, see where it runs to its nest. See where its nest is, so you can poison them all.
Again, two ideas spring to mind. One is we somehow, once we know who he is, he should be easier to track. Now, Alexa maybe can help here, but again, she's not answering the comm. Curse that metallic woman! Could anyone think of another way? I mean, there is the old-fashioned just following him, but are any of us particularly well skilled in that?
Oh, let me just look at my shoes. Are they soft shoes? Do they make any sound? I don't know.
I believe you're wearing boots, like probably army standard guardsmen.
Oh yes, I would be very good at creeping in these clop hoppers.
I mean, you can move quite quietly for such a big man. You'd probably surprise a lot of people by, but still, I mean, your
really
boots
high
aren't
agility for what I am.
I mean, you can move quite lightly on your feet because you're a hunter.
It's a specific shadowing skill, isn't there? That's what I'm thinking.
I'm not very good at tracking people, per se. I mean, vitally. I'm good at hunting, but we're not in my native environment here. I will do my best, but I still think going down to the gunnery section will prefer option A. Alexa for any other options, and what else can we use after that? There's only Jan and his site.
Well, this is what I mean. Once we've identified him, I think the best way of identifying him would be to find him in person, but then we need to track him. Now, if we can get Alexa to track him, I'm assuming, I don't know much about the ship, but she has control of those little skull things that she moved earlier today. We could maybe use one of them to track him. If he became aware he was being followed by one of them, though, it may raise alarm bells.
He did ask me to food. Avoid the servo skulls.
I'd actually...
So, perhaps he is...
I'm not you, Owen. See you later, Owen. Bye. Wait. Sorry, I was talking to me then.
No worries. We heard it on the mic, or at least I heard a blurt of Owen on the mic.
Yeah, I was going to say, how about we get a tracker, slip it into his food, see where he goes. If we find the man. Wheels on wheels.
How big is a tracking device, though? Would it
must
be
be
something
tiny
he
in
could
this day and
easily
age.
swallow without... I don't know. It's the 21st millennium where everything's arse backwards. Everything's still valve-powered.
Big.
I mean, we could maybe see if Alexa could cook something up, but I mean... Or maybe Jangle Spaffer has something we could use.
Ah, for Jagger.
But then he might... Wait, we need to be careful. We don't know
Jaffa,
which
that's
side
it.
he's on, do we?
Naga Jaffa loves
Expect he's loyal to Lucius, whatever happened.
Yes, but perhaps we should be better safe than sorry. Another option for following the man, see where he goes, is that I follow in your wake. If Arnold and Yarn are doing this wandering around the gunnery decks, maybe I should come with you, but not as myself. Perhaps I should go dressed in the garb of a gunnery loader and try and fit in, and when he leaves, and I follow him, see where he goes.
You can, you can try infiltrating. Yeah. Struggle.
Wait! I have a fantastic idea. Arnold,
As
this could be my greatest role.
oh, greatest role. Oh, I can't wait to hear this.
Arnold, I believe you're currently vetting the recruits from Orpheus
Yes.
and finding roles for them, places for them within the ship.
How good is
What if I become one of the Orpheans and be a part of your intake, and you happen to think I would very much fit in the gunnery crew?
This sounds amazing. I'll take you down, actually. This is a brilliant idea.
Then, once I'm in there, and then you and Yarn turn up looking for this gentleman, once you know who he is, you signal to me who he is, I befriend him, and, well, I'll wing it from there, I suppose. See if I can get invited to his special club. That way, I don't have to pretend to be anyone he already knows.
Maybe you might think you're a dirty, simple savage like I keep.
Exactly.
He might not approach you because he might think he's above you. I get this all the time when people talk about savages on board the ship.
I mean, that is a possibility, but I think it's worth a shot.
I think anything's worth a shot. I like it.
What do you think, Yarn?
Yeah, man.
Right. We need to dirty you up, get you some scruffy demons, and a ripped t-shirt and a straw hat, and then you'll be fitting fine.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, I mean, it's getting late. We should probably think about doing this tomorrow.
All right. Let's get back for some break room.
Yeah, you're gonna head back to your chamber. Is that right?
We have this conversation while we're heading back, actually. In this corridor for ears to hear.
I'll say at the minute where you are is quite an abandoned part of the ship, so you feel like you're perfectly safe. I mean, when you go back towards your chamber, that's when you're more likely to run into people.
Okay.
And, you know, when you originally came down this way, you all took separate routes, and you all made quite a stealthy approach down, and, you know, you don't think any of you were seen by the servo skulls, and Alexa was moving them out of your path as well, but you don't think you were spotted coming down this way. So how are you intending to go back to your room? Are you going to take the same approach? Going to try a stealthy approach?
Yeah,
we should probably split up.
Yeah, you're going to do it the same way, yeah?
I mean, to back up there, in let's say 10 clicks.
10 shakes of a lamb's tail.
Okay, where's that sheep? That sounds good, right? So I'm going to disappear off my way.
Okay, so you all split up, and you're going to make a stealthy approach back to your room. And as you head back up decks. You don't see or hear any of the servo skulls. You think that Alexa's maneuvers are still keeping him out of your way, but you are also trying to avoid being seen by notable members of the crew. So I'd like everyone, please, to make a agility roll with modifiers depending on some of your skills. So I think Jan and Arnold are on +10 from survival. Well, I think I gave Quintius a +30, I believe, for your silent move and your concealment. Okay. So can I have a roll for Jan and a roll for Quintius, please?
Yep.
I almost feel like rolling that. Might have seen on this part of the ship, I suppose.
Well, I'll say this is a roll for the entire journey back. It's one roll to see how stealthy you are getting back to your cell.
Not.
So it's at the minute you failed. If you want to re-roll that, that's obviously your choice.
I'm going to stick with my failing because nobody's seen me talk to Jan or Quintius.
Okay, so
I'm going to re-roll mine.
Like the way the cat's in the computer screen.
I know, she's proper in the way. Hang on.
Jan, can I have a roll for you at +10, please, buddy?
Oh, fuck's sake.
Okay.
Maybe.
We could do with Johnny back now, couldn't we?
Yeah, Johnny's not responding on or rather Alexa's not responding on the comms.
She must be dead.
Quiet. Stay.
Let's go on a side quest to find if Alexa's dead or not. A non-metagaming side quest.
Okay, so Jan, you think that you've avoided being seen by any notables? I mean, the ship in general, it's quite quiet, especially at this time of night, and that's partly because there's not really the full complement of crew. And you think you haven't been seen, and you make it back to the cell before any of the others. Arnold, you try and make your approach back stealthily, but when you reach one of the like the transit hubs, which brings the elevator back up to the main decks, you are seen by two stormtroopers who are look like they're on some kind of routine patrol, you believe, and they catch sight of you with
Give them a nod.
They give them a nod, and you're not quite sure what they're looking for, but they seem perhaps a little suspicious in their approach, and they walk up and they ask you who you are and what you're doing down here. What's all this? What's all going on down here in the underdecks?
Oh, I've been trying to improve ship's morale, my friend. It's low at the moment.
All right, and whose morale are you trying to improve down there?
Oh, anybody I can find. I've been roaming the whole ship. Have you not heard? If you want, lads, I've got a food tray I'm walking around with tomorrow. With more morale things. Set by Lucius himself.
One of the guys, he turns to the other one and he says, I've heard about this one. It's a barbarian in a pinny giving out sandwiches.
What? Who do you call it a barbarian, little man?
And I say both these stormtroopers are armed and they are holding their guns, out. They're not unarmed or unarmored in any means. So he bristles at being called little man.
He doesn't care though.
That's fine. And he says, "What's your name? What's your name?"
Storm Singer.
Storm Singer, is it?
Stormbringer. Oh no, Storm Singer.
Storm
Singer. Yes.
Okay. And the
Arnold, you could back me up with top decks and guards. I work directly for Lucius most of the time.
As do we all, says the stormtrooper. And the
how are you feeling it down here? Are you feeling morale's up with troops?
The whole ship's going to shit. That's what I think. Morale shit. Everything's shit. This whole whole region of space is awful.
It's terrible, yeah.
Anyway, that's I'm not here to talk about my morale. I'm here to talk about what you were doing down here. So you say you were down here improving morale? And he makes a note of your name on a data pad.
Yep.
Fine. He says, improving morale of who? What?
Anybody you can find.
Anyone you can find.
Yeah.
He says, well.
I'll pull out my penny as well and go, I usually wear this because it makes people laugh. And I'll put it on for them.
I would like you,
there you go.
I would like you, please, to make a fellowship test.
You said it.
With a plus 10.
Okay.
A plus 10 for the
penny.
That's a penny bonus.
Penny! True. No.
And maybe there's something up with these stormtroopers. Maybe the morale is at rock bottom, but the effect of you putting on this penny doesn't seem to placate them in one little bit. And they, they make notes of your appearance and your name and what have you, and where they found you. And he says, "You're free to go about your business, but I warn you, it's not wise to be wandering around the ships on your own at this time of night."
It's okay, I can handle myself, but thank you.
Well, yeah, people go missing, and strong men, warriors. Yeah, I know you can handle yourself, but it's not safe. Best to go around in pairs, I suggest.
Well, I usually am I'm nearly the size of 2 men anyway. Good, that'd be alright, but thank you for your advice. I will take this next time I come. I'll bring someone with me, eh?
And if you see anything suspicious, be sure to report it.
I actually seen some masked man down there earlier.
You what?
Never stopped a masked man who was running down at the end of this corridor. I couldn't get of him, but I'm sure there's something shifty going on down there.
Kind of
I'm
mask.
talking to him, he ran off.
Kind of mask.
Metal one. Yes. Didn't see it too clearly. Panels lying.
Okay. So
using part truths from Quint's story.
Yeah. I mean,
story.
I mean, it's kind of a part lie. So I'm not going to make you make a deceive roll here, even though it's technically a deceit, but it's more like half truths because you do know there is someone down here with a mask.
Yes.
I've seen funny folk roaming around, but he's at his distance of me.
And one of the other troopers.
Oh, she? I'm not sure. I don't know. I didn't see the chest.
Troopers, they exchange a look, and you get the impression that they're talking to each other over their comms. But you don't know what they say. And then the trooper says, he turns back to you and he talks audibly again. He says, "Go on then, be about your way. We've made a note of this."
What's your name, troopers?
Sir.
I'd like to see.
I'm very glad you asked me that. I've got a perfectly good name, and I'll tell you it right now. My name's Officer Sergeant Gulliman.
Sergeant Gulliman.
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 Perfectly good name.
What about you, sir?
Served me well. Oh, you want to know my name as well? I'm very glad you asked. My name's Private Mir.
Private Mir, eh?
Mir, yeah. It's a good
Gulliman,
name.
Sergeant
Strong
and
name.
Private. Very good names.
Sergeant Gulliman, Private Mir.
Ever go down to the what's the watering hole here called? Is it called the?
It's called the Crow.
Do you ever go down the Crow, lads?
Of course we go down the Crow.
Next clears on me, mate. If I see you down there. Thank you for your time. Keeping the ship safe. I will be on my way. Thank you for your good advice.
Okay. So after that encounter, the rest of your journey you managed to make without any more interruptions.
As a traitor.
Quintius, you're... Sorry, what did you say?
Those guys are traitors. Straight away.
Are they? Traitors, you say? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Gulliman.
Gulliman.
Okay.
And Mia.
Gulliman.
Okay, so... Quintius, you're quite adept at moving unseen, at hiding in the shadows, about moving quietly, especially in your brilliant shoes, which are so exquisite. They move very softly around the decks, but
Nipping.
you seem to have slipped up a little bit here. As you walk down one of the corridors on the underdeck, you're seen, but you don't notice the person who sees you until you actually walk straight past him. Excuse me. Holly says hi.
Hi.
Hello.
James and Dave say hi. Hayden's not
Hayden ran off.
Hayden ran away. Collie's come with the ultimate gift of chicken nuggets.
Oh, nice.
Cheers, Collie. He knows me. So yeah, so Quintus, you don't notice this person who sees you until you already pass them. And you see that it's one of the engineers. And he's working on some of the pipe work down here in the underdecks. And as you go past him, he turns and he sees you. And I'd just like to put you on another map. It shows you one of the engineers in his rubber galvanized suit. And there's a sharp...
Future Gimp!
Oh, what have you made, Alan?
Kind of Doctor Who gift.
And there's a sharp tang of the aroma of this engineer, and you can't see his face. He's got some kind of rubber mask on that perhaps protects him from the atmosphere, or perhaps he just wears it for enjoyment. Who knows? And he's got a heavy wrench in his hands, and he turns and he sees you, but he doesn't say anything to you. He's just looking at you, Quintus.
Okay.
What do you do?
I'm going to begin by going, yes, is there some reason you're lollygagging in my general vicinity?
Excuse me, just while I eat a nugget. NJ looks at you and he says, what doing?
Walking, talking to you. What business what business of yours is it? What I am doing?
Nothing. No business, no matter.
Good. Off you fuck then.
And he turns back and he looks at the pipe that he's working on, the wrench still in his hand, and says, I was here first. Off you fuck.
I'm just passing through.
Well, pass on then. Why have you got so aggressive with me?
Because you were staring at me, you weird little gimp.
And the engineer mutters something under his breath. Always the same, always talking to us like we're something not good, and mutters to himself. But he doesn't.
Yes.
He turns back to his work.
Always speaking to you like... As I'm walking up, I'm just going to mutter, always speaking to you like you barely have a grasp of low Gothic, you Neanderthal, and carry on going.
Okay.
And hope that doesn't backfire.
We've nearly managed to piss off everybody on the way home.
He's certainly not going to be Benny's best mate.
Don't need to be. Only Alexa needs to be Benny's best mate.
Well, they won't even see him. I really enjoyed that last encounter when Alexa just got super bossy with them, and then basically got shot down, and then she goes, right, I'm going to vent them all to space. It's like, all right, Johnny, is that the way you're going to get them on board with your plans, is it? You're going to recruit them to your cause by venting them to space?
You gave him too much power, Alan. You created a monster.
All right, it's all good. Okay, so you head back to the cell. You don't think you're seen by anyone else on the way back, But the encounter with the engineer, Quintius, it's made you feel like you could really do with a shower. You just feel somehow unclean by the encounter deep below in the underdecks. And you didn't feel entirely safe, just you and the engineer there. There's something a little bit off about the engineers. Something not quite right.
I do a day with the engineers.
You've done a day with the engineers. You got on with them quite well, actually. You dropped some clues. I think you dropped some rumours about Alexa being the daughter of the ship. You fed them sandwiches. You exchanged some other information, I think, and you got on with them quite fine. Actually, I think you got on.
Yeah, if only
you got on quite fine with Gunfer and Gibby.
If only Alexa had gone to the engineers and said, "Hi, I'm Alexa, daughter of the ship." Maybe that would have had some legs, rather than just let me in or I'll vent you to space.
Okay, so you get back to the room. There's no sign of Alexa, and she's still not answering on her comms. Jeeves is still here. He's trying to. He managed to get hold of some trousers for you, Quintius, and he's trying to get them into proper ship shape at the minute.
There's a message from Johnny.
Can't make it.
Not really feeling it. What's that? Sorry. Not really feeling it, Tide. Proceed without me. You'll vet Alexa what you will.
Enter to space!
Yeah. Jan wins another soul.
That's a shame, because it's quite important what her being here tonight. But what we'll do is we'll carry on. We'll do a bit more power play, but I think we're just going to have Alexa go missing for a little bit. We're going missing in action. So I guess you guys want to carry on for a bit. And
it'd be nice to carry on, because we always book it. We always stay in time and wait for the time to come and make sure we're free.
We shouldn't be punished for the actions of Johnny Carter.
We should not be punished for the actions of Johnny, no.
So I'm just going to get myself another drink. I'll be right back, and then we'll carry on, and we'll just have to. What we'll do is maybe just do a few days of power play, and we might have to retcon things a little bit. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We'll just have to wing it a little bit, I think.
Yeah, okay. Unfortunately, we can't always wait for him to forget the game, not look at the text, and then have some sort of emergency with Sarah every last minute when the game comes, because she throws a flip that is gaming. So,
and then for 2 hours of the 4-hour game, not be able to play because he can't figure out how to open his character sheet.
Yeah.
Which is what happened last game, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh well. Anyway. Don't get me vented.
I've got a fantastic idea. Do you remember when we were on Orpheus 4, I looted some bio woman's laundry?
Yeah.
I've still got those clothes.
Have you?
I'm gonna dress as a bio woman when I try and infiltrate this.
Email Gunner Reloader. That's great. I think we should work on this actually, because we've got everything we need really. Because we can do the Meals on Wheels. We can go and interrogate people while you get led into your new job.
Yeah.
I need to tell that man to keep vetting the Orpheans. So we can keep them. So I can keep that part working. A busy life for Arnold on this ship. Everybody said I wouldn't have vote to do. I've made myself something.
Okay, guys. You're back in the cell. You've all... Jan, you got here first, followed by Arnold, and finally Quintius. Jeeves is here. He's been patching up some clothes. There's also Kara here, laid down asleep and curled up on Quintius's bed. You also notice that Jeeves seems to be keeping a considerable distance between himself and Kara.
Okay. You say Jeeves has got some trousers for me?
Jeeves got a problem with your pussy.
Alan, you muted.
Sorry, I'm trying to eat nuggets without making listen to me eat. I'm trying to juggle nuggets and roleplay at the same time.
You chuckle those nuggets.
Kinky.
I can't do that. I would throw them on the floor and waste nuggets, which is a crime. So
You don't want to throw your nuggets on the floor. That'd be like surgery straight away.
So I'm not sure what the last thing I said was. So Jeeves trying to stay far apart from Kara. He's got a pair of trousers, a pair of smart trousers, which you're not quite sure where he's got them from. But he has noticed and made comment on the fact that Quintius doesn't really have much of a wardrobe, which is not befitting of a gentleman of his stature. And he seems to be trying to remedy this. But the trousers that he's got, he's trying to get them smart because they're not fully smart, and he's working on them.
Okay.
And he's keeping a healthy distance between him and the cat monkey.
All right.
And you recall that previously he'd taken a nasty gash from the pussy, which turned infected, that Jan had to heal up.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So they didn't get off to the best of starts.
Okay. Right. I'm going to thank Jeeves for finding the trousers. I don't need to role play this out unless he wants to. And I'm going to have a shower.
You get a nice hot shower. Water pressure's okay. Not too
I'm gonna
bad.
go to the shower as well.
Okay.
Quintus has hired me. Gonna have a shower with Quintus.
Okay, well, you're both quite
Started with a kiss.
Oh no, Adam doesn't care about this sort of
Never
stuff.
thought it would come to this.
Gonna go to the shower as well. Time we got to wash.
Okay. It's that time of month, is it? Jan, are you,
Yeah.
are you having a
Yeah.
group shower with him, or doesn't Jan wash?
I don't know. I've not considered what Jan
I
does.
think Yard's had a shower at all event. Must be humming by now. Unless the warp magic keeps him clean.
After my shower,
Will you pass me the soap? It's not my game.
after my shower, no, actually, that makes sense.
Quintius, Arnold has asked you to pass him the soap.
Sorry, I was lost in thought. I'm going to pass him the soap.
Okay.
I'll take it off you and use it. Thank you very much.
Well done. I felt vulnerable for a moment. It's day 4, isn't it? Okay, yeah, that's
End
all
of
right.
day 4.
Yeah, at the end of after I've had my shower and eaten or whatever else needs to be done, I'm just going to bed for the night. I'm not doing anything else tonight.
Okay. And rest of you guys, are you done for the night?
I'm going to sit up for about just away from the other so I don't disturb them from the bedding area. I'm going to just move myself where I'm going to stay. Zoom out, have a good look at this place. I'm going to sit down near the lockers here.
Mhm.
I'm out of noise range.
Huh?
I'm going to start sharpening my orc chopper up, muttering Fenrisian words under my breath while I do it. Swear words.
Okay. Can you make what should we say? Maybe a survival roll to fill the sharpening?
Yep. Okie dokie.
Well, Jan, what are you doing? Are you done? Or are you okay to go to bed?
Guys, what are we going to do if we do find the nest of the traitors?
Well, my plan is to learn their intentions first of all.
Your intention is to wrestle the ship from Lucius.
Yes, but I'd like to know why. I'd like to know what it is they have against Lucius. I mean, if Lucius is loyal, and he seems to be because he's wishing to close this warp rift, then why does Spinebreaker, who also claims to be loyal, wish to put a stop to what he's doing? I feel like we're missing a piece of the puzzle.
Didn't Spinebreaker mention something to us this last time when we saw him? He plans to bring a demon thing through. And a demon or something. Did he say something like that? Or he did?
No, last session there was talk of this guy that Jan...
Of Spinebreaker, years, sessions and sessions back when we went on the ship.
Was this when you went on
Holocaust.
I mean, I'll have a look and I'll still have an episode back.
Could
only thing I
delay
remember
that conversation. Go on, man.
I can have a little look and just see if I've got anything that jumps out at me.
The only thing
Well,
I remember
obviously
about
my
Demon
memory's
is
that was
when...
probably a year ago, so...
Yeah, the last thing I remember about Demon was last session when the guy told Jan that he believed Lucius was somehow connected to the demon Asmodeus, right?
Asmodean, yes, Asmodeus.
Asmodean, sorry.
Completely different. Asmodeus is a completely different demon. So yes, no, but he, what he said was that they believed that Lucius was affiliated with a chaos cult who service Asmodean, the demon king, and yeah, so there wasn't much concrete there, I don't think. Let me just have a quick skim through. I found it, episode 21, Holocaust.
Wow.
Let me just have a quick skim through. See what he said back then. This must have been a year ago at least. So.
I'm going back through my grey matter here.
Yeah, so James, what I'm thinking a bit out of character is obviously this guy is going to try and bring Jan intel. That's what he said on what Lucy's doing. But what I'm planning on doing as Quintius is basically trying to get into that organization to make sure that what they're doing isn't just making bullshit up to appease you to move against Lucius, and also to see if I can get a bit of a read on what they're really up to and, if they are loyal or traitors or whatever.
Yeah, say like
Quintius has got like a bit of knowledge of cults, you see, so I might notice if it's like dodgy cult behavior rather than loyal behavior, even if they don't know.
Okay. I've just had a skim through that episode, and I think it's kind of related to what was said yesterday. Spinebreaker said that Lucius and his father and his father's father and his father's father's father have returned to the Expanse over and over again, first as rogue traders and now as so-called agents of the Inquisition. And they've journeyed into this region of space to collect a series of paintings that each house a portion of a spirit of an ancient evil long since defeated. A king amongst demons, a foul tyrant of the Archangel.
So
He
that's
has many
right.
names, but chief amongst them is Asmodean.
Yeah.
Okay, so it could be that, Lucius is trying to... Maybe he is trying to close the warp rift, but maybe the paintings and the closing of the warp rift are part of some ritual to bring about Asmodean. Or it could be that he's using Asmodean to close the warp rift, in which case it makes him a radical, not necessarily a heretic, doesn't it?
Oh,
yeah, I think maybe Jan should try studying, see what he can find in the library.
Yeah, look into Asmodean.
Yeah.
I could help with that as well. At some point.
I'm going to catch some seas anyway.
Yeah.
Arnold. I'm going to cuddle my crocodile skull and cover myself in shiny bits and then go to sleep.
Okay.
That's how to sleep. Crocodile skulls everywhere. I love my bed, Alan.
Cool. I'm glad you like it. I like to what's the word? Customize. But yeah, I would like to personalize your sleeping areas based on what you've been up to during the course of the campaign.
This has a few canes on his wall behind him, I think.
And I've got a cat monkey.
Yeah.
Yours looks much more interesting.
And Jan's just got an empty bed with no items on it. And
That's not material.
No personal items whatsoever.
It's not
Okay,
a material
so-
guy.
Alexa doesn't return tonight. Who knows where she is? Who
Been
knows what
vented.
she's doing?
She's accidentally vented herself to space.
Okay, so guys, you have a restful night's sleep, and that's the end of day 4 of Power Play, and we can move swiftly on to day 5. Day 5 Power Play.
Okay.
So, what would you like to do during day 5?
We're going to do the plan.
Yeah.
And Jan's going to go do some research.
Okay, research.
I'm going to point this guy out for me in the gunnery section for us.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Kind
Yeah,
of
but
easier.
first of all, we have to.
You're
first
the
have to
only
get
one
me
who's seen his
Oh,
face.
shifts as well, don't forget.
So we need to get me into the gunnery section first, don't we?
Yeah.
You need to
well,
like assign me to the gunnery crew. So we could
Yep.
do that today.
Yeah, well, I'll assign you to the gunnery crew while Jan goes read up then. And I'll check in on the Orpheans. And I'm going to run you through the... that looks convincing. You're going to go up, change in the training room, and then come out with the Orpheans. Going to put a few more on the guns.
Okay, so Arnold and Quintius, you're going to do. This is like an extra option for you in Power Play, which you've opened up, Arnold, which is to screen Orpheans for talent. So you did that yesterday, and that's how you spent your day. So you can do that any day that you want, and each day you'll get in a fresh batch of 20, and you'll make some rolls and see if you find anyone of interest, as you did last time. If you look on your NPC followers of Cell 53, we have Jeeves, we have a tech formation of Alexa, and I've also added in now the Orphean contingent, which you should all
You open that
see. This will show you what you found thus far.
Is that guy jumping into the murder pit?
There's many questions. There's many questions raised by that picture, isn't there? So yeah, this is another option that you've got that you've opened up yourself. So you can do that today, and you can squeeze in Quintius into the process and get him a very effective what's the word I'm looking for? Identity. You know, it's a good way of giving him a cover story, so it'll supplement his effort. And this is one of Quintius's special options open up just to him, which is to infiltrate different areas of the crew. So
This is working beautifully together.
All coming together.
Beautiful.
41 sessions later.
I mean, none of you guys are in any rush, I hope.
No, hell no.
This is good.
Okay, so and so what about you, Jan? So that's their plan then. They're going to do a screening session for today. And what about Jan? What's Jan going to do?
Jan's got, now that he knows about Asmodean, he's going to go research in the library, I think. See if anything turns up.
Okay, so research into Asmodean. It's the demon
I think he's going to research the miasma, and he's going to research known cults associated with the miasma.
Okay. Right, so Quintius, I'd like you, please, if you'd be so kind, to wait. They're not for you. No, I'm talking to this bitch here, don't you? She's eyeing up these nuggets. They're not for you, you bitch. It's just an empty box anyway. I've already scrounged them all. Go on, away with you. Anyway, so where are we? So,
what's Scholastic Lore Legend?
Yeah, I'd have to check, but I believe it's related to legends, but it's much more likely that sort of knowledge is founded in the Calexis sector.
It's more to do with like, you know, heroes and
Yeah.
saints and stuff like that. Thank you, Leon.
Cheers, Dave. So, Quintius, I'd like for you, if you'd be so kind, to make a cover name, if you'd like, and you know, you're going to also put yourself a disguise on, aren't you?
Yeah, can I have a think about my cover name? Oh wait, it's come to me. My name is Randy Lee Cobson.
Randy Lee Cobson.
And that's Randy spelt RANDEELEIGH.
Okay, Cobson.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not going to be Philip Stake then?
No, that's for another time.
Okay, you're saving that for
Wasting that one.
This is a redneck, so it has to have a redneck name. And Cobson sounds like it could be from Orpheus, doesn't it? Because there's Cobs.
It does indeed.
And she is going to hail from Changa City. And I am going to wear the Bayou Woman's clothes that I looted several sessions ago when we were back on Orpheus 4.
Okay, so
when
okay.
I stole some woman's laundry, didn't I, when we were fleeing through the swamp?
Oh, yes, you did.
Yeah, so I'm going to put them on.
It's all coming together this session. It's a real session.
And I'm going to get Jeeves to help me shave my legs and armpits and also give me the closest shave I've ever had. And then I'm going to use my disguise kit to give myself... I mean, I've got longish hair anyway. I'm going to put a bit of a curl in my hair, but not like a tidy curl, a bit of a messy curl. And I'm going to give myself a bit of a wart on one cheek, but feminize my face a bit. Not make it look like I'm wearing makeup. Make it look like I'm a bit of an ugly woman. Called Randy Lee.
Okay, very good. So I would like you to make a disguise roll.
I get far too much enjoyment out of this stupid shit.
You're going to get some significant bonuses to this roll due to the fact that you already have an authentic outfit. You've got your disguise kit, and you're also going to get some additional support from Jeeves, who's going to give you the closest shave you've had in a long time. So the disguise kit, I think that gives you plus 30. Is that right, or is it plus 20?
I think it's plus 20.
Okay. I'd like to give you another plus 20 for the authentic outfit. I'd like to give you a plus 10 for Jeeves' assistance in cutting your hair. So that puts you on a plus 50.
All right. There we go. 6 degrees of success.
Okay, so you step back and everyone looks at Quintius, and it's not just the disguise, it's also the way he holds himself, you know, the way his mannerisms change, the way his stance changes. It's highly convincing, even though you know it's Quintius. You can't help but be taken in by the disguise.
Quintius, you look absolutely ravishing.
Well, thank you, my dear Arnold.
I like the voice too. Nicely. Brilliant, Quintius. What do you think, Jan? Is Jan at the library now?
Well, let's say you're both in the... you're all in the room at the minute. Jan hasn't left yet, so if he wants to chip in, he's welcome to do so.
So hand him on.
Like I said, Jan, this might be my greatest role.
Right. Let's get you enrolled. What's your name? Randy, did you say? You haven't told me though, have you?
You won't know yet, but it's Brandy Lee Cobson.
Randy Lee.
Randy Lee, is it? Sorry, I thought it was Randy.
Oh, no, Randy.
Randy Lee.
Randy Lee, my apologies.
It's the most redneck name I could come up with on such short notice.
Stop it, Quincy. Stop talking like this. It excites me.
Jan, I know we shared a kiss, but I think it's getting a little... And a shower. It's getting a little strange now. It's still me.
Yeah, I didn't watch your back for you. That's stage 2.
At least I'm very glad I'm not passing the soap today.
Yes, you're lucky. I was going to rearrange his shiny bits and his skulls as he gets out.
Okay. So you head off to the training grounds. So Quintius, you've been spending quite a bit of time here. And a fresh batch of rednecks have been summoned up. And yet again, Quintius, you notice that the training grounds have been heavily damaged. They've been attacked as if by a wild, savage beast. They look like they've been, hacked up. And there's no sign of any of the training servitors here. And here are a number of other rednecks, and also Arnold and Nathaniel Blake, who's supporting him. So I'll move you onto the map of the training grounds. And hopefully you can find yourself Quintius, and you can control your character. Oh, that's all right. You just appeared. Now what's going on?
Just appeared.
How did that happen?
It's an old model.
I don't know how on earth that happened.
I don't either.
Is he just being mischievous? I've put you a Brandy Lee Cobson on. Hopefully you can move her.
I can't see it.
He's in the bottom left of the pack.
All right. Yeah, I don't know if you know this, but if you have a token attached to your character sheet, you can just drag the character sheet onto the map and it puts your character on.
That's handy.
Yeah, I only learned that recently, but yeah, I can see Brandy Lee.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now there's just this could be up. This is how, because I know you've been quite mischievous with this before. I didn't know how you did it. Now you're revealing your secrets. Now this adds up a whole level of abuse. So thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Hey, that's very good. That's very good. So here you are again, Arnold and Nathaniel, ready to put these rednecks through their paces and put them through the processing, and we'll see what you can find on this batch.
So good
Arnold,
morning. Morning, Nathaniel.
Good morning.
How are you today? Ready to get some more people designated?
Says I'm always ready to serve the God Emperor. Even if this work involves dealing with such as these.
Don't worry. God Emperor makes work for idle hands, and these hands are idle, Nathaniel.
And he says, and after all, it may not be a complete waste of time. I found one of them useful.
Wasn't that the guy what was good at writing and
Yes, with some training, I think I might be able to make some use of him.
Yes, good, Nathaniel, good. Let's get down to business. With some vetting to do.
Yeah, so one of the guys you found was a potential adept, one of the more highly skilled ones you sifted. So what I'd like you to do, please...
Lenny Lazenby.
Lazenby, yeah, Lenny Lazenby.
Right, Lazenby.
He's got a perfectly good name, right? So just give me a sec. I'm going to find the...
Should have been Lazenby.
What?
Lazenby, it sounds good.
Lazenbys. The Lazenbys. What, like Leserbies or something?
Sounds good.
Okay. Let me... I'm just going to bring up a little file. Right, so I'd like you to roll, please, a D100, and I'd like you to roll it 19 times, because one of them is...
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19.
Okay, so what I'd like to do is help me out a bit here, and
From tell you the numbers.
Yeah, just give us a second.
At the top for you then.
Yeah, just hold on a second. Let me just write some. I'm just writing some stuff down.
8.
And then we've got 19.
I think we've got some trash in this group.
Okay, so if you just read me out the numbers.
86.
6, did you say?
86.
86.
Yep.
Okay, so that's skilled Orphean. What's the next one?
45.
45. Okay, this guy is potentially a soldier or a fighter.
89.
89, did you say?
Mm-hmm.
So another skilled Orphean.
79.
Okay, this is one who might be of use as a primitive crafter.
34.
34. Gunnery loader, potentially. Or as in he's a guy who can just do some heavy lifting, basically. That's all the gunnery loader's doing. They're moving shells into macro cannons. It's
68.
quite a physical job. 60 job. Another soldier, but perhaps a better class of soldier.
40.
40. Another gunnery loader.
I guess the low numbers are trash. 23.
23, yep. Another gunnery loader.
34.
34. Soldier.
16.
16. This guy is a serf, potentially, as in he can just do... Serfs basically just do any sort of menial work. They're not even cutted for heavy lifting, but they just do, anything that's menial, really.
All right, menial man. 90.
90. Okay. So that's another skilled Orphean. We'll go through the skilled guys in a bit. Just carry on going. 8. Hopeless.
2.
2. Hopeless.
98.
98, did you say?
Yeah.
Okay. So an advanced guy.
79.
79. Okay, another primitive crafter.
64.
64. Another soldier.
93.
Okay, this is another potentially advanced. And so how many are we up to now then?
Get me a second. 37. I don't know.
37. A soldier.
75.
95, do you say?
75.
75.
That's the last one.
Okay, so that's another primitive crafter. Okay, so to give you a rundown on what you've got a
Two
couple
shit, that's pretty good.
You've got a couple of hopeless guys. 1 surf, 3 loaders, and then 4 with Randy Lee.
I changed the Orphan's contingent then. Hopeless 2 more, yeah?
Add 2 more, yeah.
I don't think it lets me edit this, so can it?
I'll see if I can. I'm just gonna have to think. I can't open it up at the minute, so what I'll do is I'll let you edit it. See if you give us a sec. Yeah, what I'm gonna have to do is just let me just give a sec. I need to stop the music because if I don't and then I leave, then it'll bug it. So I'm just gonna rejoin.
I'm going to turn my kettle on while you do that.
See if I can. There we go. See if I edit this. Can be edited by all players. So up to 7 hopeless soldiers. Another 10. Total serfs. 3 gunnery loaders.
Is this a servitor army I see before me?
Quintius.
That would be ironic, wouldn't it? If you were making a servitor army here.
I think it's just Johnny. All the games blend into one with Johnny.
They have, yeah.
So
You know what?
Ideal ones.
I gave this a lot of consideration, Alan. I actually very nearly messaged you about this and asked you if you wanted to do something to fuck with Johnny, and it was going to be about Alyssa. It was going to be about Alyssa and Cyric Scale, that you've just defeated, and he's the I make the Silica Animus kiddie. And I was going to have I was going to suggest to you that we have plans for Johnny as Otto to find belonging to Cyric Scale that somehow suggests that he made the abominable intelligence that is in the Malevolence. But obviously, I don't know what you're doing with the Malevolence.
Yeah. I mean, it's
I was
Well,
like,
even-
I was like, if you haven't got any plans, let's do that for Johnny to fuck with his head. But it would be too much, I think.
yeah, probably be a bit too much. But I mean, we could definitely mess around with Johnny. But we should definitely talk at some point. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I think there's definitely some opportunities for a bit of cross contamination between the campaigns. It's all good fun. So I just need to make some rolls on the. I've updated the file.
Right, let me just.
You should be able to now edit it, and I've updated it as well now. So, but in the future, you'll be able to edit it yourself. So at the minute, your total haul is.
Second, maybe I have to press edit.
It says you should be able to edit it. So
Let me change the 5 all right open at the moment. It's not like trying. Let me get rid of it and then try open it again then.
maybe rejoin the game. I don't know. Maybe that might work. Or
you've added some in anyway now.
I've updated it. But you should also be able to edit it.
I'll rejoin, shall I?
Oh, you can do. I mean, it's no big deal either way. I just
Doesn't matter then. Let's just carry on.
Carry on. So I just need to make a few more rolls for me, please. So I'd like you to make roll for me 3d10.
3d10.
3d10, please. That's what we got.
Roll twice or 3 times there.
3 times. I don't know. I can't say. I'm on a
Roll
different.
d10. Yeah, 3 times.
What have you rolled, please?
219.
219.
In that order.
Okay, so amongst these skilled Orpheans that you've uncovered a couple of cooks. You think that the King Cook will be very interested in these guys. So a couple of people whose speciality is a gift with food and drink. And one of them you think has the makings of perhaps an officer amongst the the soldiers that you're putting together. So, and I'd like you to roll 2 more d10.
7 and 7.
What did you roll? 7 twice?
No, 2 and 7.
2 and 7. Okay, so one of these Orpheans matches the specification that was given to you in the Crow last night. Or was it earlier today? No, yeah, yesterday I think it was. Yeah, it was yesterday. Last night.
Yes, they were slept, haven't we now?
And it was Flight Lieutenant Charles Ash, who he said that he was interested in more pilots, and he gave you a description of the the kind of the spatial awareness, the intelligence, reflexes, a very specific profile, and you think that you might have found your first potential new pilot amongst the.
Going to get him. These people straight away. I'm going to send pilot him into his job. Gunners can go with us tomorrow. So we introduce the thing, so they'll go tomorrow. Cooks can go with me in the morning before I get my my trolley to go down to the workstation. They can all come with me. Take them all down. I'll take the cooks to King Cook, grab my trolley, take the other men, and do that tomorrow. Anyway, that's my plan. So
cool. Well, there was one more as well, and I'd like you please to roll for me a D100. What have you rolled, please?
3.
3. Okay, so as you start to get a closer look at one of these Orpheans, and this particular Orphean, you notice that he's got himself well covered in kind of heavy clothing, heavy leathers, this thick leather coat, and you also see that his face is wrapped up in bandages, and as you kind of start to put this guy through his paces, you're quite sure that this Orphean is what they call gifted, or in more common term, it's a mutant that you've brought up, well, that has been brought up from the planet. So what are you intending to do? You've uncovered a mutant amongst the Orpheans. What are you doing? What are you going to do about this?
Well,
Suffer not the mutant.
Oh, no. Won't be Orphans on the side. I will send the mutant back to his quarters. Will be dealt with later. Could go back and live with the Orpheans, so not to reduce morale.
Okay.
Ship by putting him to work.
What
was it good for?
Like turning them into servitors? Well, this is, what he's good for probably will be scaring people. This mutant is a grotesque.
Yeah.
So it's a minor mutant. He might be good for menial work as well, but where he would really excel would be putting the fear at people and intimidating them, because he looks absolutely hideous.
Wow.
Alright.
He's you've got your first grotesque, or maybe you might put him in a freak show and have other people marvel at him. I don't know. I mean, you've got a grotesque.
Yeah, what could possibly go wrong with having a freak show?
After the Orphans get designated, I'm going to keep the grotesque with me after I clear them out.
Okay, so you're gonna send them all off, and Quintius, you're sent off with some of the others, with the gunnery loaders.
By the way, I'm assuming at some point, like Arnie has asked me, what my skills are.
Oh yeah. You basically gone through. There's I don't know all the details here, but
it's not asking you on purpose.
There's a process. It's like you're putting people through physical tests, testing for dexterity. Also getting information on your skills and your talents, and it's like you're putting you through this testing process to try and sift.
All right.
What you're good at. So you're going to have to pretend that you're good at physical things here.
You see, what I was thinking was, at some point, I was going to drop into the conversation that at some point I worked in the fancy missile silos in Tachanga City in a supervisory role, but I fell out with the big bosses there. So, just sowing the seeds that I might not be physical, but I know a bit about munitions, is what I'm trying to sow.
I want the Orphans gone for half an hour while I have a little conversation with Grotesque. And I'll bring them all back in, take the gunners maybe to the section, and then do the food train. It's tomorrow with Rian.
Okay, so
get the gunners going today.
Okay, so you send them all away, apart from Wyatt. Wyatt Lazenby, and he goes. Just give me a second.
Look at those fancy little matches. He goes, why you want to spew me on my own, boss? I mean, I've done something wrong.
No, I'd say you're what's called gifted, aren't you?
It's by my face, isn't it? It's always by my face. I knew it was a mistake coming here. I knew I should never come.
I'm not prejudiced. I need you to stay, keep people in check in the Orpheans down there. Because if everyone's on ship, they'll probably might not take too well. They might be calling something like a mutant down here, which is not very nice, is it? So I'm going to have you helping out.
My face is gift for plenty, but it ain't no gift I ever wanted.
I'm going to have you help me out with the Orpheans. That's okay? They're all used to you.
What do you mean help you out? We see it.
I'd just like to want people to be in good spirits of the ship, so you can maybe report to me, because obviously people might just talk to they'll say anything. What do the Orphans think at the moment about all this on the ship, being out in space? I know what I thought when I was first out here. I bloody hated it. But,
okay, I would like you to make a fellowship test, please. You're going to get
Me,
some...
I wish
I know.
I'd picked a character with fellowship.
Well, there you go. I'm afraid you live with your consequences. You used your fellowship as a dump. Now I'm afraid
did.
you're paying some of the price for that. But you're going to get some benefits from this because of the scenario. He's quite keen to please you in this instance because he feels quite vulnerable. And you've also got some benefits to dealing with any Orphean because you've improved your reputation. So I'm just going to check what that benefit is.
Mutants
So
with
if
benefits.
what's that, mate?
Said mutants with benefits.
What's quite amusing
Vagina
about
face.
this is that Arnie's trying to do stuff that requires fellowship, and I've just signed up to be a gunnery loading crew, which requires strength.
All the stuff you're doing is you're quite training to be in a physical role. You're getting beaten up by Arnie. There's lots of strange.
Arnie's doing what Quintus should be doing.
Okay, so Arnold, I was going to give you a plus 30 to this, but you've also got a plus 4 with all the Orpheans, and everyone has a plus or a minus to every faction within the crew, and that can be found in one of the handouts. So feel
Plus
free to
34.
remind me if I forget. So it's plus 34 in total for this test. I'd like you to make a fellowship test, please.
Gotta re-roll that.
Of course you can if you've got fate point. Did you use a fate? Oh, you didn't use your fate
I
point
didn't.
earlier.
I
No, you
did
didn't.
not.
So, you didn't.
Start to the guards. Oh, almost.
Okay, so when you start talking, you get the impression that he doesn't want to. And you've seen this before. It's very common. He doesn't want to grass. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to talk about his allies.
Clear for an extra plus 5 to my roll.
If you'd have done so beforehand,
okay.
that's a bit too meta for me. So I'm not going to.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
Oh, but what?
Picture a chicken for me.
Yeah, I'm afraid that's a little too meta for my liking. But what he says to you, he says,
Well, most of the Orpheans, they don't really know why they're here. I mean, the whole thing is quite bizarre. In all honesty, we got the word put out from Cohen and Steen, and they told us we're shipping out. We're shipping off world. And they said this whole world's going to come to ruin. And then after it's been ruined, they say that the butcher's going to come and take it. And you see, well, us folk, us carbs and us lazenbys, we don't hold no truck with a butcher. And then they told us, yeah, we're going to come up here and we're going to fight the butcher. We're going to take the war to him. And that suits most of us quite well. But to be honest, most of the folk around here, they are their depth. They're not. This place ain't nothing like what we used to, and nobody here seems to like us. And yeah, so a lot of them, a lot of them aren't happy. A lot of them don't know what's going to go on, and a lot of them confused. So. And I just have to say, Mr. Stormsinger, sir, that we're quite happy that you've trying to take us under your wing, because we don't want to be no dead weight. We want to pull our weight, see.
Yeah, I spent a bit of time on Orpheus Fauna. I really enjoyed it. It's almost
Beautiful world.
Yeah, I come from a nice planet myself. Rivers and lakes, feral people. Using feral stuff, so it was almost, it's like a more advanced place, even my own world. It's quite nice to visit.
And he says to you,
Mr. Armstrong, sir, I don't suppose you heard what happened. They said our world's been ruined. They said that the bio, the swamp had been destroyed. Do you know anything about that?
The ship, what's it called? The Victorious.
Yeah, the Victorious was the name of the battleship.
Victorious. I know they laid waste to that.
Huh?
Who laid waste to it?
Oh, it is a man named Spinebreaker.
Why?
He's a man what chases us. He's he pretends to be all holy. He lays waste to planets. Unholy acts. Strange, eh? We do not trust him. Anyway, I know this sounds a bit rude. Would you mind if I got you a mask so you could travel around on ship and see me without getting judged by your face?
Yeah, well, I try and use these bandages to keep people knowing. My face always getting me into trouble, and but maybe you could do something a bit better.
Well, I'll ask Alexa to get you a nice To any style of mask would you like, sir?
And he seems to think for a moment.
He says, well, I always wished I was handsome, maybe like a handsome face.
Ha! Alright. Like mine.
He says,
Hair,
he
mine
says,
is just covered in hair and with glasses, and all I can see is hair and a pair of glasses.
he says,
Now, I don't hold no truck with the Marinos or any of the family. I mean, those folk, they're in fraud of the Butcher and the Laughing Monk, and I don't hold in with any of those types, but still, I didn't want to see the bio ruined, and if it was this Spinebreaker who did it, well, as far as I'm concerned, he's an enemy of all Azorfians.
Just to remind me, Al, when we were back in the bayou, when we were on the river with Bubba, there was that moment where
Gumbo, you mean?
Gumbo. Sorry, there was a moment where
Bubba was someone else.
Bubba was someone else. Bubba was the barman, wasn't he?
He was.
When we were with Gumbo on the boat stopped at one point, and we just sort of sat there in silence for a bit. And then later on, there was a boat ccame past. Didn't that have Lazenbys on it?
It did indeed. In fact, the Lazenbys were you also saw them. Some of them were on the docks, so they did seem to be part of the family. You know, so that did seem to be the case.
Yeah, I knew they were definitely a part of the family. I'm still absolutely fixated on the fact that Gumbo was untrustworthy, and no one else seems to have ever got on board with this. But I'm utterly convinced he's the BBEG, and we're going to have to kill him one day.
Oh, dear. I don't know. I think Laura's the BBEG. So
No, Laura's my bestie. Me and Laura are like that.
Now that would be so. I mean, if I was willing to set up a whole campaign based around old Gumbo being the
That'd be fantastic.
True evil, that would be that's probably too good, too genius for me.
I would have tipped my hat so much it fell off, and I never GM'd another game if that had been the case. That'd have been such a fucking good twist.
Well, anyway, I'm gonna let old Squidface have a swig of my clear.
Okay, so you let him have a swig of your clear, and he takes it, and he has a heavy draft of clear.
How are you lot faring for ale down at your end anyway? Do you need more?
I'd like you please to make a fellowship test at plus 34.
God.
Did I give this guy? Oh,
he hates me. Let me just have a look, see if I've got another fate point. I think
you've used one. Do you have two?
I do. I think I've only ever been down to one, and then I'm going to fatty up. So where are you? Yes, total 2. So I'll use my second fate point.
It'd be wise of you if you don't want to. You might well lose some reputation with the Orpheans if you let this stand.
Can't be losing rep, can I? Gained it. It. Oh my god.
What he says to you, and I'll repeat. I've said this a number of times during the campaign. Sometimes failing a test doesn't necessarily. It's not always black and white. Sometimes if you pass a test, you may gain something more. But he still seems fairly amiable to him. I mean, you're one of the few people who's probably talked to this guy very much. You know, not everyone hangs around or talks to a grotesque like an equal. So it's not that he's immediately disliking you from a failed fellowship test. It's just that if you'd have passed, you may have got some more information, or you may have got something extra. So it's not always a black and white. Sometimes it's a bit more shades of grey. And what he says to you, he says, sorry?
I said better than 100.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say if you'd have let that 100 stand off, if you couldn't have re-rolled it, you would have lost a bit of rep. You'd have, with the Orpheans, and your kind of modifier with them would have gone down permanently. But what he says to you, he says, well, there's never enough booze anywhere. I mean, we used to have regular moonshine down on the planet. But yeah, I mean, we ain't got distills up here, so yeah, you say you can get us booze. I mean, yeah, no one's gonna say no to that.
You make do you know,
Although his voice lowers a second, he says, "Oh well, some of these folk maybe wise keeping them off the booze."
I've seen some of them. They still look a bit rickety. But, stick with me, my friend. Treat you right. Gain each other's trust, and start your handsome mascot, eh? And then we'll go from there.
Okay.
So, I'm sorry, sir, but I can't let you out on the ship at the moment just because of.
In my face, in there, it's always my face. It's always getting me in trouble.
Yeah, I really don't want that trouble for you, sir.
Okay, well, where am I to stay then? Is this my new home here? And he looks around the training ground.
No. Back in the Orphans.
I'll be safer down in the Orphan.
Yeah, with the Orphans, it's fine. I just wanted to have a chat to you because I didn't want to be prejudiced. That's why I kept you behind.
Oh, you're awfully good, sir. You're awfully good man.
People don't treat people like us with respect. I know how it is to be looked down on and called a savage. Always been called a savage. Anyway, thank you very much for your time. I will have the gunners taken to work, but we will find you a good job.
Okay, I would like you, please, as you're having this conversation, I would like you to make... How do you defend against intimidate, Dave? Is it strength or willpower?
Intimidate. I think you can.
Intimidate.
You can use any skill you want, can't you? You can use fellowship, strength, or willpower.
Use strength then.
Okay, so I'd like you to make a opposed strength test, please, Hayden, as you're talking with this guy. Okay, so you are speaking the truth for your words. This guy, he doesn't bother you. He doesn't intimidate you. He doesn't make you shudder inside with his grotesque features. You're a bigger man than that. You're not going to let this guy get into your head with his misshapen face.
I've been talking to the engineers. I'm quite used to it now.
Okay.
So, put him in his big freak face.
Freak face.
So another fine haul for you, Arnold, today.
Yeah, that was a good haul. That was better than the one before. Got too useless.
And we've got a cover story for Brandy Lee. And Brandy, you've been set aside with like 3 other guys who all seem a bit bigger and stronger than you, and you've been sent. Now, there's 2 kind of main areas where the gunnery loaders reside, Arnold, and that's the port side guns, macro cannons, and the starboard side macro cannons. So, where are you sending these loaders for training? Is it the port side or the starboard side?
It was say.
Me, man. Right, are we going to go port? Port side, please. For our lady.
So, Randy, you've been you and your companions head off to the port side macro cannon stations. You assigned quarters. And you will begin your training in the next day. Okay. Is there anything else you wanted to do, Quintius, in this day in this section?
No, I'm basically just going to hang out with the rest of these loaders. One thing I am going to say is I'm going to adjust my inventory to mark with an asterisk what I'm taking with me as Brandy Lee, and it doesn't include my shoes, so I am reducing my fellowship and agility.
Okay. Yeah, just if you can keep track of that, because obviously, it can get a bit awkward. That's one of the problems having all these kind of magical items is that your stats can obviously change quite a bit depending on what you're wearing at any given time.
What magical items?
Well, for those people who've managed to acquire them, you had a perfectly good one which you had encased in lead. So don't give me that. That was maybe the best one, or at least the strongest one that's been in play so far. But anyway, never mind.
It's locked down below. I'm being a nice, productive person since losing it.
Yeah, I noticed. No biting, No biting people's faces off.
I was
No
tempted
flaying
to-
people. No chopping off feet. You've just been a pretty decent person.
Yeah, I was quite decent to that mutant because my idea was just to leave him behind and then murder him. Then I had a change of heart halfway through.
You're a
Good
champ.
idea, I liked it. So all I've got on me, Al, is the Bio Woman's clothes. I'm keeping my combead, because that's small enough to hide.
Uh-huh.
And also, I'm going to keep my skeleton key.
Okay, very good.
I'm going to
And
keep
what
it
about-
in my shoe.
And what about weaponry? Take any
Nope.
weapons with you? Nothing at all?
Nope.
Okay.
I don't think we'd have any, would we? The Bio folks.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen some of them with belt knives. Perhaps the odd club. But you haven't seen any of them with any guns or anything like that. So perhaps those have been taken off them.
Well, actually, I'll take my mono knife because that is actually from Orpheus 4. It was
is,
made
yeah.
there.
It was,
So I'll
yeah.
take my mono knife. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay. Okay. So, Jan,
Yep.
you are going to the library today, and you are trying to find any information you can upon Asmodean, the Demon King, which is supposedly the patron of this particular cult, to which Spinebreaker is. Spinebreaker is well. This is what Spinebreaker's men and his minions have been telling you, that Lucius is part of this. That he's involved with this. So you also wanted to research into the miasma itself.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'll need to start getting all the backstory of the miasma.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, legends of the miasma and all the rest of it. Like, why does he come here?
Okay. Right, so I'm going to have a little pause there. I'm going to get myself a little drink, and I'm going to have a little think about how we're going to do this. Okay. So
Yep.
If you want to take yourself a short break.
All right.
This is going great. I'm loving what we're doing here this session. I'm absolutely loving it. We're working together. We have a plan.
This is how we should have always been playing the game, Hayden.
I don't always want to play like
There's
that.
nothing wrong with splitting the party when everyone's trying to pursue an objective.
Well, the trouble is, you lot have been going rampant in my game so much, it makes me feel like playing normally and like I'm supposed to. It's had the opposite effect on me.
There's a lot of fun to just fucking about in these games, but there's also a lot of fun to working together and achieving common goals. That's just the nature of the beast.
Should be on for next week because all I've got to do is just do a little bit. I'm not drinking, so I'll be doing loads of my game now.
Cool. Are you guys still on for this weekend for D&D?
What day?
Yeah.
Saturday or Sunday?
Somebody said they would prefer Saturday. I'm easy, but somebody said they would prefer Saturday. Was that
Yeah.
you, Jane?
I think because Alison works Monday, she's got the weekend off. So if
Oh, yeah, okay.
do that, that'd be ideal because then she's got some day to toss off. So
Yeah.
rather than it being an early night.
Yeah, it's going to be it's going to be the first proper session, basically, because obviously you had the two separate sessions, and then you had the session where you were all brought together and fought the darkness. And this session is basically going to be the first session where the game is now yours. There's no real plot. There's plot seeds throughout the city, and I'm basically going to just see where you go and what you do. In the game, the story will build from what you do. So, I've got plenty of ideas to throw at you, but you might not be interested in all of them. So we'll see what you go after.
I'm rolling excited.
The goal in it is to get stuck in my shell and then bounce from one wall to the other.
I can do that to you if you want Cooper trooping.
Or some Italian jumping down on me.
I've got
Point.
I've got various ideas ready, plans for you. So,
Can bounce off
Woman-
the brownie.
the woman in the inn and Master Shegul and Luciana Roth can all become patrons for you. They'll all give you things to do if that's what you want, or you can ignore all that. You can go and pursue the story of the chasm, or ignore that. You can go and pursue the story of the royal wedding that's about to happen, or ignore that. You can look into what happened in the Feywild, or ignore that. There's loads of stuff, and I don't know what you're going to do yet, so we'll see.
Got any of these on notes so I can check it before the start of the game?
It's all in there somewhere. It might not be visible yet, but it will be by the day before the game. It'll be all available.
I'll read it up before I play them.
Basically, what I'll do is
clue me in.
What I've done in the other D&D games is I have 3 handouts, and one is rumours, and that's things you've heard. One is quests, and that's things you've been specifically asked to do by somebody. And then there's also a third one, which is personal stories. And there'll be like subheadings for each character. And you'll all be able to see all this. And you can basically, pursue things in the rumours, and they could become quests, or things in personal stories could become quests. And, it's basically a load of information that you'll hear, and you can choose to look into them, and they'll become active quests. A bit like a fucking video game.
Nice.
Alan's been thinking about his in-game lore and what he's going to dispense to James.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. Like, most of my game, certainly tonight anyway, is completely improvised because I have no idea what you're going to do. So
that's why you're very good at it, Alan.
So I have to be very reactive to how. What you guys do, because that's the joy of a sandbox. But it also does mean that sometimes I have to think, right, what the fuck am I going to do now? Give me a minute, guys, and I'll have a little think about this. So, because obviously there's no way that I can plan what's going to happen.
I know exactly how you feel. I have you two. A game.
Yeah, which is it's fun, and it makes. Like I say, I've been really enjoying tonight.
It's been a good game so far. Yeah?
It's been fun. It's been but like I say, none of this is. I mean, how could I foresee what you guys are going to do? I mean,
it's all fall together though.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem to be. I think so. I like the shape of this game so far. It's been great. So
put the deck of cards down, and it's fallen in order of where it should be stacked.
Yeah. Okay, so Yarn, you head off to the research library, and once again, as you access the data cogitators that are here, you realise that the amount of raw data that is available to you is, it is unprecedented within the Imperium. The freedom of information that can be found here, and the very act of allowing access to so much information, specifically on such topics as Xenos or chaotic threats, is radical in itself. The fact that you have the clearance to search for pretty much whatever you want. So that so you're struck again by the fact that this library in itself is a radical act, unashamedly, but you take advantage of it. So the first thing that you've been trying to discover is more information about Asmodean, which is the name of a demon that has been resurfacing time and again. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like you please to make a intelligence test to reflect your search. Unless there's anything that might be applicable here that you can think of for trawling through data.
If only you had forbidden law cults or something, or forbidden law demons, or
Yeah, I thought maybe Nick.
forbidden law Alan's made up on the spot stuff.
You've got well, no, you do have hold on, you do have forbidden law demonology. So I think that would, that would be something that might be appropriate here. So you do have a few skills. Looking for your character sheet, you do have a few skills which I think would be helpful. So given that they're only testing on the same as your intelligence, what we'll do is we'll add a +10 for the demonology and a +5 for the occult. So we'll give it +15. Intelligence on +15 for your testing, please. Okay. So unless you'd like to, are you wanting to keep that, or are you wanting to use a fate point?
Yeah, we'll leave it.
Okay. So you trawl through the data banks, through the cogitators, and the hours blur as you're sat staring at the screen, watching reels of information pass by you, and you're searching for the keyword Asmodean, which is the only name of this demon king, or the other name you have is the demon king. So you search for these two, these two search fields, and what you find is quite striking. That you find absolutely nothing. But what is more striking is that you would think that in this massive amount of data, even there should be something there, even if it's a false positive. And what you quickly come to discover, what you believe, is that any references that may have been here in this entire data bank have been excised from it. So although you have one of the most exhaustive sets of information here, perhaps in certainly in this sector of the expanse available to you, the specific thing that you're looking for, it's almost like every reference to it has been removed from the database, which is in itself highly suspicious.
So head back to my room and
Sorry? Well, I mean, hold on. The other thing you were going to have a research about, I think, was about the miasma itself. You're going to try and learn a little bit about...
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, you're going to try... Well, so
Yeah,
here's
we're
again...
not find anything relating to the miasma in this poll, don't we? Oh, well, fuck it. We'll find out anyway.
Well, say you wanted to try and improve your knowledge of the miasma itself and see what you could find about here. I'd like to make another intelligence test, please. This time, I think it'll be on a straight roll, because it's not... it's nothing to do with demonology or the occult. Okay, and so here the data is more readily available, or at least up until a point. So what you find is that, let me just get up another file, please. I'll be here just one moment. You find, and you've had references to this as well before, this region of space, it's been kind of uncovered and discovered by the Alexander family. There's not really been any other, as far as you can see, expeditions out aside from the House Alexander. Now, let me just get a file up here. Just one moment. I would agree. Just give me a minute. I can't remember where I've put it.
What are you eating, Hayden?
He's eating. Oh, I can't hear Hayden. Is he?
No, he's not set out. He's just holding the packet up.
Okay, I thought, because sometimes I lose.
Yeah. I haven't had them in years.
Great. My new fags.
Okay, so it starts with Lucius's father's father, called, his name is Nefaliak, or also known affectionately as Old Man Alexander. And he's the one who's kind of come out originally to this region of space. And he left with one ship, which is called the Emperor's Mercy. And he came back with two. The second one being the Emperor's Grace, which, if you recall, is the false name, if you like, for the Malevolence. Mm-hmm. And the acquisition of this ship was made from an empire which is about as far as you can get towards the Malevolence before you come to it exactly. So, and this name of this empire is called the Selexis Core. So I'm just going to bring up another file.
Can you spell that for me, please? And also, can you remind me of the name of the ship that the great-great-grandfather set out with?
So he set out with the ship he originally set out with was called the Emperor's Mercy, and he came back with the Malevolence as well. But he was called obviously the Emperor's Grace, and that's the name which the ship first had.
Yep.
So, but yeah, so it's the rather the Selexian core. So the Selexian is spelled Salexian. So let me just bring up another file on this.
Finally, deep diving into Alan's lore.
If you ask, there's.
I mean, I will roll around in this. I would have whole sessions where I just ask you questions about your lore.
And I'll go, shit, I'm going to have to make it up again. So, no, so what you have to wig it on the spot again as usual. So, no, what you find here, so this empire, it is mainly human. And old man Alexander, he believed that it was once imperial. Or, so, although no imperials have gone out as far as the Expanse, or rather, as far out into the Miasma, officially, there does seem to be lots of evidence here of Imperials that have come out here some way, or perhaps unofficially or by accident. And you saw this as well when you went onto the planet Orpheus 4. There was, reference to the Imperial cult, even though it was, held in, kind of. It wasn't really trusted. It wasn't really the Imperial cult, but it definitely seems that the Imperials have been out here, and it's the humans from the Imperium who have founded this whole region of space. But how they've got up out here, there's no official record of this expanse. So how they've actually appeared out here is still very much a mystery. But with the vagaries of warp travel, it could well be that. Ships do sometimes appear in random places, and can also perhaps even travel through time. It's been reasoned. So what you found out about this Selexis core is that they are highly fascist, very much expunge all sort of mutants and corruption with a high zeal. And all sorts of psychers or sorcerers are purged from this society. Now, you also find reference to AI within this study, and this Selexis core use AI. In fact, their society is ruled by a powerful AI council. Although the AI it's referred to as artificial intelligence, not as to abominable intelligence. So this society, this Selexis core, by the standards of the Imperials, is highly heretical. But there does seem to be some foundation here from the Imperium itself. So at what point they came to this region of space, and at what point they diverted to actually embrace AI rather than destroying it and expunging it is not clear. So the ship, the Emperor's Grace, was purchased from this core, and it was, the ship itself. The core thought that it was cursed. It kept venting all of its crew to space, and sometimes, production of AI leads to insane AI, just like any sort of sentience leads to a small proportion of them being unwell. So the ship was thought to be scrapped, and it was sold to old man Alexander, who came back from that region of space. And so you find all this quite boggling, that this kind of information is here right in open sight. It seems quite strange. That such information will be left unguarded and unprotected. So the Selexis core is about as far as you can get towards the miasma before you reach it proper. So this last journey to the miasma, this is the furthest that the Alexanders have ever come. So each time they came out into the expanse, they got a little bit closer and a little bit closer, and they've taken different like routes.
Circuitous.
Thank you, David. Circuitous, and they've come back again and again, searching for these paintings. Now, so there's quite a bit of information, not so much on the miasma, but on the areas around the miasma as they've come closer and closer. And there's information about various planets, what resources they might have, what trades were made. And you can also see through this information just how rich the ship once was, and just what a powerful and how much resources the Emperor's Grace or the Malevolence once had to bear. But so it seems to have fallen more on hard times in the more recent years. So as for the miasma itself and what's going on here, there's little that you can find other than this whole domain seems to be under the boot heel of the Butcher. And there's not too much information here apart from seems to be some sort of Lord of Plague. There's references to Nurgle here to be found, and references to the Death Guard, and perhaps they've been deducing whether the Death Guard are related to the Butcher, or whether it's some offshoot of the Plague Marines. So, but as for information about the miasma itself, there's very little here, and this is the furthest that the Alexanders have ever been. So they've come back over here over the course of several generations. So there's, excuse me. So Lucius's father is called Dimitri. Then his great-grandfather Samson. His great-great-grandfather, his father's Dimitri, grandfather Samson, great-grandfather is Palov, and then his great-great-grandfather is this Nephaliak, and they've come back time and time and time again to this region of space, finding out more and more and more. But as for the miasma, they haven't quite got. This is as close as they've ever been, and this is the nearest they've ever got to this actual region of space, and they've been trying to avoid encountering the Butcher for obvious reasons. So that's what you discover. There's quite a lot of information there. And again, you're quite surprised that all this information is so freely available. And that is how you'll spend your day, Jan.
Okay.
So you come back to your room at the end of the evening. So Quintius, are you now separate? Are you going to be back in the port? You've got rooms now in the port, kind of gunnery loading crews, barracks rather.
Yeah.
You're going to be separate from the others.
Yeah. What sort of arrangement? Is it like a dormitory type arrangement, a barracks type arrangement?
Yeah. So these barracks, these rooms that the gunnery loads are put in, they're much less sophisticated than the room that you have for Cell 53, and there's just much more. There's many more people crammed into a similar space. Whereas you've got room for 4, you've got your own showers and clothing and all that. You've got a similar size room, but there's actually 32. There's 32 people here, of which how many of them are the Orpheans? Let's check. So let me just check. Anyway, so the Orpheans, all the Orpheans are here. The ones from yesterday and the ones from today. So you're all crammed in here, and it's quite claustrophobic. It's also quite smelly. There doesn't appear to be a shower block. It's certainly not in the room. You don't know where the washing sort of facilities are, if you've got them available, but there's none in the room like you've got in your own cell. Right. So it's quite, and it's quite ripe in here, as you might imagine. Quite noisy. And it's claustrophobic.
All right.
Okay, so you're going to be sleeping overnight in your new domain, is that right? And sort of getting involved with your infiltration.
Yep.
So Jan and Arnold, are you happy to move on to the next day now? Or is there
Right,
anything
Jan.
is there anything to discuss with each other tonight, or what? So now there's only two of you in the room. Alexa still hasn't shown up. I wonder where she is. She's gone missing. She's still not responding to any calls. Who knows?
She hasn't been vented into space.
I'm sure she'll turn up. Maybe she's working overtime on my axe. Wait,
Probably being slutty with someone.
I can't even talk to you. You're in a different cell.
That's true, yeah.
I mean, you can talk to, yeah, you
but
could. If you want to comment
I-
to each other, that's fine. But
yeah,
obviously
but
you'd blow
I'm going to
your
be very
cover, perhaps.
paranoid about this. Yeah,
Okay.
so I probably wouldn't. I wouldn't answer, obviously, at the very least.
I'll just inform Jan that Quintus is now undercover as a gunner, introduced by the thing, and then let's hope that we can take the food cart out and go spot your man. Port and starboard guns.
I found out the history of Lucius coming back here. Like his whole family been coming back here many generations. But then nothing to be found about this demon cult or this Asmodeus. Nothing at all.
Asmodeus is a completely different demon.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's a guy from D&D, I think. Asmodeus. It's probably its common name actually.
It's the demon from old mythology. It's also in D&D. It's also the name of someone associated with the Dark Angels chapter, I believe.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah. The chaplain.
Yeah, the big cheese chaplain.
Yeah,
Alan James, sorry to interrupt, but you need to get fucking Dark Tide, man. It's such good fun.
Well, yeah, I'm feeling a bit broke at the minute these days, mate. So.
Won't go on my Nintendo Switch.
No, unfortunately it won't. But it is really good fun.
Yeah, cool. I mean, there's a few games I won't mind at the minute, but yeah, it's a bad time of year for expenditure at the moment.
It's me. I've only got it because someone bought me it for Christmas. Cheers, Leanne.
Yeah, like normally I get some Steam credit, but I haven't got any this year. So,
right.
although Nicole did get me a few nice bits and bobs. She got me tickets to see Frankie Boyle.
All right.
Cool.
Well, my lass got me a smithing for a day. Like,
She got you-
go make.
Oh, actually, make it.
Go
Oh,
to
you'll
blacksmith.
you'll like that.
Cool.
Yeah,
That'd be really cool.
Smashes, smiting the metal. I want to make an axe head.
If you don't come, I was going to say, if you don't come back with a fucking battle axe, I'm going to demand you get your money back.
Well, I'm not allowed to make a weapon, so I'm going to say, can I make a woodcutter's axe because I'm a tree surgeon? And it should be alright with that. I'll even bring in my handle, which I've already pre-carved for one.
Yeah.
And say I want a nice, decent axe. So I can
It's
make
not a
nice
battle
handle for it.
axe, it's a wood axe. Why does it have dwarven runes and two blades on it? I don't know. That's how they
Well,
made
that's
them in
make it look
Scandinavia.
Yeah,
Right, anyway.
pretty neat.
Anyway,
Yeah. So you're back in your cell. Alexa's gone missing. Quintius is now deep diving into his new role. So
rank
there's
one.
only-
My
only-
rank one title was Cult Infiltrator. I'll have you all know.
Very good.
And it's taken until now for me to use that.
Jeeves is here. He's cleaning up, but he looks a little forlorn. You know, his master's not here. He looks a little down in the dumps.
Hey, Jeeves, I could do with a foot rub as I go to sleep. I'll be okay.
He goes, very good, sir. And his face twitches in this horrible nervous tic that he has.
Felt this morning or yesterday. It should be alright.
And he moves over to give you a massage.
But yeah, and I bet he stinks. So-
I think Jan's been in the river at least once. So
Now that Yarn's dreadlocks are natural and not created by beeswax.
yeah, just body fluids.
It's just natural filth of not washing his hair for years on dusk.
His dust holding his hair together.
okay, so he tickles a little bit as he gives you this foot rub. It's not the best.
Good.
It's not the best. It's not his
The
best.
Jeeves.
It's not his best work.
Okay.
Maybe he twitches.
Tickling.
He twitches at the wrong moment.
All right, I'm gonna pass out after me now, and I've had a little quick chat and sleep ready for tomorrow with a happy foot rub.
Okay, so it's going to be day 6.
Oh, Jeeves, will you put that cat monkey outside?
And he says,
Only kidding, only kidding.
he twitches, but you do see a genuine look of fear in his face when you ask him to do this.
I'm only being silly, Jeeves. I don't. Kara can stay here defending the room.
Just to clarify, I wasn't outraged for Jeeves. I was outraged for Kara. I've bonded with that imaginary cat monkey. I'll have you know.
Having a moment of evilness. Sorry, Dave. I had to really pull myself back. I was going to murder that mutant, but I did not see.
Oh, Wyatt with the bad face.
Wyatt, yeah, I was going to
Wyatt
murder
with a bad
him.
face. A face that is even his mother wouldn't love.
Yeah, poor Wyatt.
Okay, so
We're going to get my handsome mask.
day 6 of power play. What are your plans for power play today? So, Dave, you're on infiltration.
Yep.
Infiltration duty.
Uh-huh.
Me and Jan are going to go to King Cook with Offians.
Okay. And you're going to get yourself a food trolley. And then you're going to trawl the port side?
Do the port side first, and then if it's wrong, I'll send some Orphans over to the starboard. Do them there, you know.
Okay, so you're doing your little food trolley. So this
Along
has
with Quintius.
This has and then Quintius, you're trying to keep an having. So Quintius, what we're going to do is you're going to do your infiltration roll.
Yeah.
And I think we'll also maybe do a roll for yesterday as well, because you didn't really do much yesterday. I mean, you spent a bit of time going through it, but you'll have had a little time to improve your rep with the gunnery loaders and to get yourself in place.
Okay.
And then Hayden, you're going to be going through that section, improving morale, listening to rumours.
Also, because I've selected the cooks to come with me today, I'm also going to tell Nathaniel to screen the troops today while I'm away doing this mission.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
So it carries on while I'm not there.
Okay. Okay, so yeah. So Nathaniel gets your command, and he says, and he tells you that's fine. He hasn't got anything else that he's working on today. So he will carry on with the screening, and I'll probably do that off screen and work that out at another time. Okay.
Perfect.
So where are we now then? So the King Cook, he's happy that you brought him some fresh recruits, and this improves your reputation with the King Cook by 1.
Hey.
I'm going to
there.
add that up. So I'm just going to edit this. If you give me 1 moment.
Should be getting some good rep all ship around now. Blowing.
Yeah, I just love how you've just taken a catch with no fellowship, and you.
I know, but because on ship for 2 weeks, I didn't know what else to do with myself.
Okay, so your rep's gone up with King Cook by +1. He's happy to have the extra men, and he gives you your food trolley, and you set out on your mission with Yarn. So what are you doing today? You're basically you're doing your usual thing, trying to improve morale.
I'd like to hear Jan's take on this as well. So I don't want to leave him out.
No.
Together.
So what do you want to be doing today, Jan?
Well, yeah, I'll follow along with Hayden. We'll see what we can discover as we go from place to place.
All right. Can you tell me? Well, I'm going to ask you for a description of the man, and you'll tell me, yeah. And then I'll try and make awareness tests for people.
Well, yeah. We'll kind of passively do that. I think as we. I mean, there's no guarantee we'll be there at when he's on.
Yeah. I mean, like I say,
do it a few times. I suppose it's a bit of stakeout.
It's also completely possible that you're at the wrong side of the ship.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
I did at
Oh.
the start of this game write down which side of the ship he was on.
Yeah, I think they'll
So
probably come up with a.
It could be wrong side of the ship. It could be wrong shift. It could be that he's wrong in sick.
yeah,
It
It
just
could be
doesn't
it's all an
matter.
elaborate lie. We don't know. We have to find. We have
yeah,
to
it
stick
also
it out,
could
don't
be.
we?
It could also
have
be
to
that
look.
he's not a gunnery loader at all, and the fact that he's wearing a gunnery loader uniform is just a ruse. Perhaps he's trying to
We need
lead you
to.
down the wrong
We need to
path.
systematically break this down. And if this doesn't work today, then we do it at night. Then we do it in the starboard deck. You know, we keep doing it until we rule out every possibility. It's going to take some time.
Nixius is in the depth team. Would he be able to, any use to kind of nerd through all of the different?
Okay, so on day 6, Nixius is training to be a pilot. He's learning the bombers, he's learning the interceptors, he's piloting the ship. On day 7, he'll finish his piloting course, and then he'll meet his new team, Cell 54. And then Cell 54 will spend a day or so together, and then they'll go on a mission into the underdecks to
Get shot the fuck.
Well, yeah, I mean, they went on a combat mission. I think that happened on day 8. At that point, you'll have caught up with Nixius,
Right. Okay.
and then you'll have then we'll be going on to power play with the full set. So at that point, you'll be able to bring him in. But then again, Nixius will have his own goals. He'll have his own missions to accomplish. So but then we'll come to that point as yet. But at the minute we're only on day 6, so we've still got a few more days to go before you catch up with where you already are with Nixius.
I need to know what Tommy Lee's doing.
Yeah, he's probably just bumming around.
He's just being weird. His back hurts. He don't know what's going on no more.
But I'm very much looking forward to catching up in time and rejoining Cell 54 and seeing how they're getting on, because I miss those guys.
They're cool, aren't they?
They're great. So okay, so day 6. Okay.
Would like to muck in with the gunnery loaders by loading a few missiles up to lead by example again while offering food. Self in good standing.
Okay.
Doing it.
So what I'd like you to make, Arnold, I'd like you to make a strength roll. This is to kind of improve morale via chipping in and helping out. You've got plus 10 for your food trolley. Yarn, you can use your fellowship if you prefer to try and improve morale. Again, you've got plus 10 for the food trolley.
Oh.
Just going to rejoin this game. I'll be right back.
Ooh. Close. Under 50. Rolling again, is there?
Yeah, can I use my strength to mock in rather than fellowship, or would you rather?
Yeah, no. If that's how you want, if you want to do the same thing as Arnold, and you want to basically just
It's better than fellowship.
if that's how you want to do it, that's fine. So you can.
Pass on 38 instead of 28.
Aaron's a big bloke anyway, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
So the two of you go around with your food. You help load the macro cannons. You help, basically tidying up and clearing up, and you basically spend your time chipping in, and chewing the fat with the gunnery loaders, handing out food, and it's like Arnold says, as you hand out food, people talk. It's and they also like the fact that you're helping. The work down here is tough. It's hard work. It's dirty, and like in any job, the people who do the work don't really feel appreciated and properly recognised for what they do. And you capture a couple of rumours. Did you both pass, did you?
Mm.
You
Would have
both
done, yeah.
passed. So you both
Yeah,
passed.
yeah.
So you both capture a couple of rumours. So, Jan, you hear a rumour that there's a drug problem on board. One of these gunnery loaders says that he saw several people sniffing some purple powder in the orrery. And Arnold, you hear a couple of rumours. You hear the gunnery loaders, they keep finding the limbs of little greenskins lying around.
Oh, not them again.
And as in not as in limbs, as in bits of them, parts of them, here and there. And you also hear rumours of cheese, not re-cheese, not substitute cheese, or actual proper cheese.
That's a good
no one's
rumour.
had any, but you've heard rumours of real cheese on board.
Oh, cheese.
And also, there's a general murmur that that trouble's brewing. That there's there's always people. That seems to be something coming to a head on board the ship. That things aren't quite right. So there's kind of not quite directly referring to mutiny, but there's always that murmuring that it's kind of a thing that's not being talked about. But there's still, you get the impression that this mutiny is building up. That sooner or later everything is going to come to a head. So you pick up these rumours, you help improve the morale.
You see Our Lady at work. Doing the rounds.
I'd like you, Dave, to make your. So let me just see how we're meant to be doing this. So let's have a look on your power play handout. Let's have a look at Quintius. Yeah, so we've got infiltrate, mark disguise. Okay, so you've kind of inserted yourself here. So I think this is probably going to be some form of fellowship. So what are you doing here? So what's your? Explain to me how you're doing it. So you managed to infiltrate yourself successfully.
So
You've
I'm
got yourself
assuming
your cover story. You're going to be going through training. There's going to be some guys going to be showing you what your job role will entail. There's the training. He's trying to train you to do the job safely, and he's always talking a bit disparagingly of the higher ups. But he's trying to teach you how to do the job without losing a finger or breaking a hand or a foot or dropping a shell and blowing up a hole in the side of the ship, that sort of thing.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and muck in, but obviously I'm not very strong. But I'm going to try and muck in, and to all, like softly at first, to all the people that are within earshot. Anyone that I'm working nearby, I'm going to be muttering about how I can't wait to stick it to the butcher, and how I signed up in Tachanga City to defend against people like the Butcher, but they didn't like my attitude because they were all corrupt, and they kicked me out. But now I'm here, I've got a second chance. I want to take the fight to the Butcher. I'm making a big deal about this, and I'm going to start, as I learn how to do the job, I'm going to start encouraging other people, and like patting them on the back and saying well done and stuff, almost like I'm trying to take a hands-on leadership role, like a lead by example kind of role. Okay. I mean, obviously, this is complete and utter fucking bullshit Quintius manipulation, but this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make it look like, I'm really, one of the guys, and I'm really proud of anyone that can do a job. And if they've struggled with it a couple of times and they get it, I'm really congratulating them, but I am just basically full of shit.
Okay. So I'd like you, let's see. So why not a deceive roll then for your infiltration, as you are living a lie.
I'm living a lie.
Let's go for it then.
I'm living a lie. Deception. 6 degrees of success.
Okay, so you become the part, and you are utterly confident that no one, not even the Orpheans, suspect you are anything other than what you claim to be. So not only do you think you're convincing the regular crew, you also think you're convincing your other Orphean recruits, and so they open up a bit to you as well.
Okay. This is phase 1, by the way.
What?
Phase 2 might be for another day.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool, bro.
So I'd like for Yarn to make a awareness test. Now this would be a -20, but you give a description to Arnold as well, so he can assist. He doesn't know exactly what the guy looks like, but he's got enough to go off. So he's another pair of eyes, so you can have a +10 for Arnold. So this is your awareness test to see whether you... so it's -10 in total, plus -20 plus 10.
I am going to use the power that should not be named. Is that
Well,
okay?
no. This is for a whole day's worth of looking, so it's not. It's like lookies are like a 6-second or like a 12-second or whatever window. This is like for a full day's sort of scanning and seeing if you can catch the guy,
Oh.
presuming that he's even here. You want to keep that, or you do still have a reroll, don't you?
No. Just the way it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you spend your day, but you don't see the man from the vision. Maybe he's not even here at all. Or maybe you've just not caught him at the right time of day.
Okay.
Can we do go to comms Quintus? Yes. Go.
Okay.
Don't answer me. It's the first thing I'm going to say. But I'm going to hand him a description of the person we're looking for. Say, don't talk to me, but here's what we're looking for, and then tell him the description and hang up.
Okay, so the problem that you have is that it's a fairly generic description what he's given you. So you can assist Yarn, and Yarn knows what he looks like, right? But for Quintius, he might see, let's say, half a dozen or a dozen. You know what I mean? He might see multiple people who this could be, but only Yarn has actually seen him in the vision. So the description in itself is not enough. Because the guy, he was fairly... I mean, it's something, but it's not enough
So
to 100%...
I assume I'd know like basic things like hair color,
Yeah,
and
so,
I'm assuming this guy's not a mutant. So I could use the information to some extent, couldn't I?
Yeah, of course you can. Of course you can.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is you it's not the same as actually seeing a picture of the guy and saying, "Oh, that's him."
Yeah.
You couldn't use it to narrow it down, but it's only Yarn actually knows exactly what he looks like. Okay.
Okay. I'm going to write a note to myself. I have a vague description.
So, I mean, the guy's around 5'9", reasonably thick set, heavy shoulders, but that applies to most of the gunnery loaders. Yeah. He's got blonde hair and pale blue eyes.
Okay.
So, for your during your day, I'd like you to make an awareness test, Quintius. But I'd like you to make it at -30, please.
I can make that. It
Well,
might be a bit of a long shot. Nope.
Okay, so,
-5 degrees of success.
Okay, so
-5 degrees of success. 5 degrees of failure. Sorry.
No worries. So you don't see anyone who you think, you don't see anyone that you think is your man, your mark. You see a few people who there are some similarities. But you find it quite a fruitless search on this day.
Without having the insight that Yarn does, I suppose it would be like a bit like, this could be anyone. I mean, it almost fits the description of me. Wait, am I the spy?
Is it you?
Wait a minute. No, it is a description of me. I am 5'9". I'm blonde, and I have... Oh no, I have piercing blue eyes, not pale blue eyes.
You don't have a heavy set shoulders, though, do you?
I absolutely do not. No, I've nearly executed myself there.
Okay, so you guys, so Jan and Arnold, you head back to your room. Towards the end of the day, you're wheeling the cart back to King Cook, the empty cart, and you there's a guy you walk past in the corridor, and he has this hacking cough that sounds terribly, terribly unpleasant, and he can't seem to stop coughing.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to say, you there, man. Report to the Medicaid bay immediately. That sounds nasty.
And the man, he turns to you and says,
I've been there once already. The doc, he's given me something, but it's not doing the business.
How close are we to an airlock?
"Oh, now you're getting on board it. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at the map. Just give me a moment."
Space 'em, James!
Oh, I love how James is getting in on it now. Right, so wait. So I've got a map of the ship. You're heading to food processing, which is 21. Okay, so you are food processing. That you are fairly close to the aft starboard airlock. So you're, perhaps within a couple of minutes walk.
What do you do?
Brownie.
What's your job?
I'm a serf, sir.
Space him.
Do you work in the kitchen?
Space him now.
No, sir. I'm no cook. I just most of my days spent cleaning and carrying, emptying bins.
Space him now.
It's good work, honest, honest work.
Hesitation is a route to damnation. Space him now.
And on your other shoulder is Alexa going, "Space him, space him."
And then there's Hayden going, "No, let me cut his head off."
I don't really want to get that close to his hacking cough, to be honest. I'm hoping Jan can crush him using the Force.
What are you doing?
I'm going to ask him if have you seen anyone else with this sickness?
Well, with this particular cough, I mean, I don't know. I'm no doctor. I don't know
How
if anyone
far
else...
away from the how far away from the medical bay? Well, actually, we've got the ship, haven't we? So.
Sorry, there's a map of the ship in the handouts. So if you want to have a look,
Right, where am I?
so 21 is food processing. You're very close to that. So you're on the right-hand side of the ship, the starboard side, between 21 and 20. So the medical bay is number 10, which is kind of further towards the aft of the ship in the middle. So you're not that far away from there. You could probably get there in, perhaps 8 minutes walk. You're a couple of minutes, 1 or 2 minutes away from the aft airlock.
Okay, what's your name, man?
My name... I've got a perfectly good name, and I'll tell you it right now. It's Victus.
Can I...
I'm glad you asked.
Jan's medical knowledge. Can I... So can I diagnose...
You want to make an assessment? Sure.
I want to diagnose this, didn't we?
You want to try and diagnose him? You'd have to get closer.
Space him now, James. While you still have chance. Don't let the corruption spread.
It might just be a bad cough. I mean, why is...
Buzz, buzz, buzz. You can hear it in your mind.
It might just be a chest infection.
He's not wicked. He's not. But space him.
Right, I'm
Space
going
him
to
out.
radio the doctor.
Okay, he comes into the doctor, and the good doctor, he answers, and he goes, "Oh, hello. It's Mr. Yarn, isn't it?
Wagwan,
Pleasure.
Mr. Festus.
Oh, wagwan, Mr. Yarn. How may I be of assistance to you?"
I've just met this Victor. He says he come by the med lab. He's got a really bad cough, and
I've been seeing a lot of them coming in with coughs recently.
oh no, man. He says the medicine's not doing anything, doctor. Like, what about everyone else? Are you worried about this disease going around?
Well, I mean, I'm not sure. Let me consult my notes. And he goes,
Day 9. The bloom has spread successfully. My masters will be pleased.
and he goes, well, I don't think it's anything to be overly concerned about. I mean, we've got plenty of crew on board the ship. Some of them are going to be ill at any given time. And of course, they're not being fed especially well. And when, when people are hungry and they eat paste for so long, it's natural for the immune system to come under attack.
Alan, just to clarify, this guy has repeatedly told us that he is definitely a qualified doctor, hasn't he?
Well, I think you might be getting mixed up with Horace Horatio Butterfield, who keeps saying that he's a qualified cook.
Oh, right, okay. So this guy is definitely a doctor.
Well, I mean, he's healed up a number of you.
Yeah.
So
I'm
it
trying
seems
to have my
likely.
doubts.
I mean, he doesn't look like a qualified doctor, but he has actually successfully
What does a
healed up
doctor
a number
look
of you.
like?
Usually
Well-
black, terrible handwriting, in my experience.
Well,
They've all got good jobs.
I may need to follow this up, Victor. Let me know where you live, man, and I'll keep an eye on you.
He
Space
goes,
him.
not a problem. It's and he gives you his room designation, which is towards the aft of the ship where the other serfs live, or rather where a portion of the other serfs live.
Right. Okay. Going back, I'm going to have a bit of a seance when we get back.
Okay. Right. So you go back to where were we? So you're going back to the King Cook. You drop off the trolley. I think that, and you're heading back to your room then, is it? So
Well, if Brownie's going to have a seance, I'm going to go somewhere else.
yeah.
Aware, but I just want to be somewhere else away from Brownie's like corrupts me magic. I ain't got many left points before I go batshit crazy. So I just want to get away just to not get corrupted by Brownie. Thanks,
So
Brownie, but you've given me nearly 10. Give me 9 last time.
old Yarn 10 points.
Oh, yeah, 10 points. Yes, there you go, Hayden. Welcome to
Yeah,
20
you know.
corruption.
It was just happened to be there.
You were just a facilitator.
Just a
I
catalyst.
just want to be out the room while he does his seance, if you don't
I
mind.
would say Alan used yarn to give you corruption. That would be more.
Well, I'm
No.
still scared
Fuck
to
that.
You
Let's
rolled on
not
the.
start-
Yes, you
Let's
rolled.
not start pointing fingers and making accusations. Let's remember that Alan gave us all corruption points for making us listen to Cotton Eye Joe.
Okay, now I'll hold my hands up there. But I wasn't the one who said I'll use these powers repeatedly. I wasn't the one.
No,
who rolled
I
the
agree
9.
with you
I
there,
wasn't the
Alan.
one
Yeah.
who rolled on the perils in that instance. Now, I'm not saying I haven't been dishing out the corruption, but that I'll
When
hold
you-
my hands up. But not.
When you look at how-
Been a bit
that was
nervous.
all on you, surely.
When you
You
look
can't
at how
blame me for being a bit
powerful,
nervous.
for example, look at how powerful, for example, Vladimir has been for a long, long time, and how few times you've used your powers in
And I still
comparison
summon,
to.
and I still, exactly. I mean, the amount of spamming you do compared to Vlad, I used to always try and use my powers as little as possible, and I still summoned a bloodletter.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Hey, I
Yeah,
think
yeah, I'm
we have
spamming
some-
that. Just spam that shit. Yeah, any old little thing, any old little thing.
Power, power, power.
Yeah.
You just,
I'm gonna
Don't blame me.
I'm
Don't
gonna
blame
roll
me.
to influence the flip of this coin that doesn't have any bearing on the game. I'm gonna use lucky.
I'm gonna just nip to the crow for a quick drink by myself.
That's
Not
where
really
you're
talk
going.
to anybody. Yeah, while Jan does its little seance.
Okay.
Not really,
Fine.
I don't want to roleplay it.
No,
It's
no,
just
no.
that's
But I
why
will tell you, while you're down there, Arnold, you get yourself a clear. It's on the house again. I will say there's a nurse who wants to spend a bit of time with you. You can say yes or no, or we don't have to dwell on too much. So you find a nurse who's quite interested in big men, I guess. So, but one thing that's down there, and one little room that you pick up down there, that a lot of people are talking about. They're talking about the Platinum Jubilee, which is it's 70 years since Lucius has taken been the captain of the ship. So there's got to be some celebrations. Let's just check. Coming up very shortly for the Platinum Jubilee.
sounds good.
And this has actually happened already in the other in Cell 54's timeline. So it's just to try and keep. It's basically when the Queen actually had her Platinum Jubilee. So I just shoehorned it in.
Yeah.
So we're coming up to the
Does
equivalent
this mean
time.
Lucius is going to die shortly after?
Well, I mean that depends a lot on your actions, I suppose. So
Oh yeah.
we shall see. Who knows? I don't know where the game's going. I'm just riding the waves. I'm just riding the waves. So yeah. So there's a lot of talk of the Platinum Jubilee. There'll be some celebrations. There'll probably be a load of food laid on, and everyone's always keen for real food.
I have to pay it
and
back.
free booze. Do you have to
I
pay
have to pay it back. Yeah, it's a layout. Doesn't matter. Should have paid it.
Should have
said it's laid on. I know.
Should have paid him.
Should have paid it.
Should have paid him. Nobody asked you. Jan, you want to have a seance tonight? You want to beseech the spirits and ask them. What are you asking them, Jan? What question do you ask of the ancestors?
No. Yeah. The what is the origin of the disease that surf guy had?
Victor.
Yeah. Victor.
Okay.
Origin of Victor's disease.
Okay. So I'd like you, please, to make a soothsaying roll. I.e., is there anything you bring into focus to aid you in your ritual?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, I'd like to make a straight roll, please. Okay, so you meditate, you beseech the ancestors for wisdom, but for once it doesn't seem to come. The visions which you've become quite reliant upon, that you've been so successful with, that have been so accurate. Tonight, the vision doesn't come, and you are none the wiser. Is it coming from anywhere, or is it just a nasty chest infection? You know, maybe you're reading too much into it. But for whatever it is, whatever's the case, you don't get anything from your soothsaying ritual tonight.
This nurse.
So what's this? Sorry, about you and the nurse.
This nurse.
This nurse. What about her? Her name's Anastasia.
Yeah.
Name.
She
Strong
seems.
name.
She seems very interested in the size of your muscles. She asked you to buy her a drink.
Will do.
Okay. I'm not going to flirt with you, Hayden, because I can't do it.
I would.
What Hayden did with me was he just basically put on like a Monty Python kind of high-pitched voice. It was
That was brilliant.
one of the most disturbing encounters of my entire RPG life. Was Hayden?
You think that was bad, Hayden? You think that was bad, Alan? Imagine being in a room with Johnny and Hayden when we were actually still playing in person, pre-pandemic, in the before times,
playing gay chicken.
when Hayden had the Naeus encounter and also the threesome with one of the chiefs of Iacanthos and his girlfriend, and we were literally sat 3 feet apart making eye contact the whole time.
Yeah.
Laughing our heads off.
You've obviously got bigger cojones than me, Dave. I won't deny it. So
I don't have the intelligence to be afraid of people. That's what it is.
I mean, like, you thought you'd test the water with me. I thought, well, I'll test the water back with you, Dave.
I'll play along if you will.
Yeah. Gay chicken.
Yeah, gay chicken. There's nothing wrong with it.
okay, did you want to? Anastasia seems keen on coming back to your room with you, Hayden.
No, I'm not. Anna's not like that straight away.
Okay. So you leave it like that, and
another night on it, Anastasia. Don't. Maybe I'll go back to your room. My room's busy.
Treat him mean, keep him keen, Hayden. So
she'll be keener next time round.
So you return to your room. The room smells of this herb that Yarn lights when he wants the soothsaying ritual to be accomplished. So it's quite a pungent aroma in here. There's no sign of Alexa. Where has she gone? She's been missing for days. She's not responding to comms. Who knows?
Should be all right.
Quintius is still in his deep dive. You can comms into him if you want. Quintius, you do find out that there is a kind of communal, like toilet and shower area that services many of these gunnery loaders' barracks. So there is some way you can go off and get a bit of like a bit of quiet space if you do want to communicate with them on the sly. You just need to basically go off to the bog. So you learn a bit more about what you can and can't get away with. The food you get down here, Quintius, is awful. It's just nutrient paste. You get double rations, but it's still double rations of paste, and it's most unsatisfactory.
Okay.
Okay, so I think is that the end of day 6.
Yeah, I guess it is. I walk in from the bar, the single.
There's just you and Yarn in here.
Yeah, I don't want to be doing it in front of Yarn. And it's not like that.
It's far from the weirdest thing that Arnold's done in this game.
Arnold would rather skin someone than shag someone.
Okay, so
sort of guy he is.
So Yarn, Arnold, and Quintius, anything you want to say to each other or do before we end day 6?
I don't know. Did you find anything out?
No, man, but I must say the disease worries me because we're being pursued by the butcher, man. That be there about.
Wait a second, now I'm going to make him. Do you think? Yeah, man. Wait a second. Out. I think it is been brought on by the Orpheans.
Yeah, it could be, man, but
the
Laughing Monk is also part of the pantheon of the plague god, so that could also be the case.
Anybody worshipping that Laughing Monk needs to be purged, I say.
Yeah, so one thing you've heard, Arnold, is that these Orpheans, as far as you can tell, they don't worship the Laughing Monk. In fact, they're very much against the Laughing Monk and the Butcher, from what you've gathered.
Very good. But there's obviously someone worshipping the Laughing Monk on this ship.
Thing is, we're in I remember the name of the place where we found Quintius's, not Quintius, Dave's weird
Grimm's,
cheese
you mean?
fella. But that was the Laughing Monk there, and didn't we meet
That certainly
the dudes just before we went there as well? Like, I don't know, the Lazenby's. No,
So, okay, so I'll give you a bit of background on this. So the family is like the main the family itself is what they call like the Merinos. They're the main like the backbone of the family. But there's also lots of other family members.
Reptile Marine.
Align them, yeah. So they were unmistakably Laughing Monk worshippers, and yes, you've determined this is an aspect of Nurgle, the god of decay. Certainly in Grimmsport, there was an open. There was a giant golden idol of the Laughing Monk with the symbol of Nurgle on its forehead. The fatties, the abominations, they were undoubtedly creations of Nurgle. So there was open heresy being committed in the Bayou. There was undoubtedly Nurgle worship, and it seems like most of the family members were given over to worship of the Laughing Monk, or open Nurgle worshippers. Now these Cobbs and Lazenbys that were brought aboard. Now it might well be that they lived in the Bayou and that they were part of this power structure to a degree. But it's that what they're telling you is that they hold no truck with it, and these guys don't worship the Laughing Monk. Now, it might well be that they were still part of this power structures, but it was the Merinos who were the real power there, and all these other families were just kind of more subservient, in essence. So whether these guys are telling you the truth or not, I mean, you think so. You also think that it doesn't make any sense for Lucius to bring on a load of Nurgle worshippers on board the ship. Now, that doesn't make any sense for him to do that. But equally, how would he know whether there was or there wasn't? There's a lot of answers you don't have yet. How could Jagannath go to the planet and recruit so many Orpheans in such a small amount of time? It just there's still a lot of unanswered questions.
The Orpheans.
At least what they're saying to you, or certainly to Arnold, they're saying that they think they're here to fight the Butcher, that they don't worship the Laughing Monk, and they don't hold any truck with it. But maybe you can find out more.
I'm a little bit interested to know what Dave's doing on his deep dive.
What who's doing? Sorry, what?
What Quintus is doing on his deep dive.
Well, the minute he's kind of been living the role, he's been. Did we cover that properly, Quintus?
We've not done any bunk time with him. I don't know. You won't have written anything like that.
What do you mean?
Bunk time.
What do you mean?
Question times with Quintius.
I mean, yes, we did yesterday on day 6, where I basically said, I was going around playing the part and saying, I was here to fight the Butcher and making sure everyone thought I was one of them.
Yeah, and
that's what I spent most of day 6.
I'm only asking because I enjoy your role play. That's fine.
Yeah, but Dave's also quite well behaved, in that he's recognising that I'm trying to skip through and not spend too much time on every individual day. And we actually got through 2 days today, which is unprecedented. So that's. I mean, we're nearly down. We're nearly all the way through 1 week. So we're nearly halfway towards Ridge Station.
I think the record in my game, Alan, was 4 days in one session.
Really, that seems impossible.
No, it was a very productive game where there was very little role play. Is the only way to describe it.
But I know there's a balancing act here, because I know people enjoy role play, and I know what we've done today. I've really enjoyed it, and
really enjoyed it.
But there's also I don't want to be stuck in transit for the rest of the game. There's stuff at the end of this bit, and then there's stuff beyond that. You know what I mean? And if this campaign will ever end, then you need to kind of somehow move through time a bit quicker, you know what I mean? So I'm just going to take the jumper off. I'm cooking.
My campaign will be nearly a year old soon.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, well,
Show you off a bit of my nips as well while I'm at it.
I'm always up for that.
Okay, so James goes, hmm?
Nipples? You,
Okay.
I am the nipple
You
king, and you
sir.
summon me.
He's got his magnifying glasses on.
Tweaky, tweaky.
Okay, so
I'll tune you in.
Radio 4.
I think we're at the end of day 6 power play.
Okay.
So we can move on to day 7 if you like. Got a little bit more time.
Yeah.
Still no sign of Alexa. Where is she? What's happening? She's not
She
answering
spaced
the com.
herself.
She's completely gone missing. Who knows?
Alexa,
I don't know what we're going to do.
I think she's flicking a mechanical bean.
Very odd. Very odd. Okay, so day 7. What are your plans for day 7 of power play?
Well, we're still... Jan, are you still up for trying to track this guy down on trying to climb on the other side of the ship?
Yes, sir.
You gonna
We'll do the same again
You
then.
want to do the same again, yeah?
Oh, yeah,
And
same
I'll do
side.
a different side. We'll just try the different side this time. We might have missed him, but the one place we could look is the dorms. If we try the dorms, it's quite if anybody's going to be sleeping on a night shift, we're going to be there, aren't they?
Okay. So you're staying on the port side?
What do you think, Brownie? I'll let Brownie make the decision. I did last time.
Yeah, let's go for a different one.
Starboard.
You wanna go starboard this time, okay?
Yeah.
And same again. Attacking Nathaniel. Can you vet the troops? Blah blah blah. King Cook.
Okay, this one.
Lola.
1 minute. Let me just check something. Okay.
It comes into Veneta and I get static.
Veneta? You will get static. You're fucking
Yeah,
5
sorry,
years
Alexa.
and countless light years out of time and space.
Okay. Day 7. So this time you're going to go on the starboard side. You're going to do the same thing. Quintius, you're going to be on the port side. What's your plan for day 7 then, Quintius?
So I'm gonna carry on working with my new buddies, my new loading people. Trying to ingratiate myself with them.
I mean, you think you're pretty well in there already. But
Yeah, I'm gonna keep doing what I did before. Basically, trying to muck in, but also, trying to make it look like I'm more of a leader than a doer. And also, I'm gonna keep going on with my occasional blurts of information about blurts of speech about the butcher and how we're here to fight the butcher. But I'm also going to start throwing in around midday. Who is this Lucius? What do we know about him? All that sort of stuff. Can he stop the butcher? I mean, how do we know he's not just as bad as the butcher? I'm going to start throwing out some seeds of doubt, which might end up getting me executed. But
okay. Okay, so I'd like you to make another deceive roll for your infiltration part to day 7.
Steve roll, you say?
I'd also like you to make an awareness test at -30.
Okay, is this deceive roll straight deceive?
Yeah, straight roll. Okay.
3 degrees of success and awareness. Did you say?
Awareness. This is at -30.
Oh dear.
Look at a lying.
I don't think so.
8 degrees of failure.
Okay. So again, Quintius, your infiltration you think is going perfectly. You don't think there's anyone who suspects anything. Then that you are what you are. I'm just going to mute James for a second.
Yeah.
So yes, you don't think there's anyone who disbelieves you. You are comfortable in your role, and you've got no reason to suspect that anyone thinks that you're anything other than what you are. You hear rumours of the upcoming Platinum Jubilee. that's tomorrow, and there's a lot of talk of perhaps we'll get something other than this fucking paste. There's a lot of murmurings and grumblings about the fact that they don't get anything other than this nutrient paste in general. Although a couple of days ago, you do hear talk that they got some little salt fish thrown into the mix, which was a rare treat. And so some of them are still pining after these salt fish. And you also hear a rumour that one of the gunnery loaders found nipples on his salt fish. Now,
Yeah.
I don't know why that's so
I
funny.
want to touch this fish.
Nipple fish.
you
Yeah.
also hear another rumour, Quintius. It's a rumour about the head doctor, Dr. Festus Bucket. And what you hear is that he sleepwalks, and that one of the gunnery loaders tells you that he has it on the good authority that the good doctor keeps turning up in different locations of the ship, not knowing how he got there.
Okay.
So you pick up a few bits and bobs conversation. Overall, the gunnery loaders are a surly lot. They feel underappreciated. And then when you start putting out seeds about Lucius, some people just ignore you. Some people spit on the ground. But you also get some biters. You get some people who who start to speak ill of Lucius. They say that he's insane. He keeps making these crazy decisions, and that you also start hearing some of these biters. They start telling you that the ship itself is cursed, and you have to be careful. And someone tells you, and they seem really, really like zeal, like what's the word? Zeal, I can't say it. Really full of
Emphatic.
zeal, really emphatic. Thank you, Dave. That you shouldn't go near the airlocks, not ever, not for any reason. Don't go near the airlocks. It isn't safe.
I very nearly lapse into Quintius when they tell me this and go, well, that sounds quite terrifying. I nearly give the game away.
And they also, some of these people who are speaking of Lucius say that Lucius is not above venting the ship to space. He's done so a couple of times in order to defend the ship against Xenos attack. And then some other people start piping up in defense of him, saying he was only doing what's necessary to save the ship. And you've got other people who start saying that the ship is our protector, and and there's some people who seem almost to have a real fervour for the ship itself. So your kind of offhand words seem to spark almost a little
Debate.
debate, and also perhaps a little minuscule civil war within the gunnery loader section on its own. So you see people taking both sides. So you just plant these little seeds, and then you spark a little bit of conversation on both sides of the argument. Some people are fanatically loyal to Lucius and think he's the best thing since sliced Ree cheese, and other people think that he's insane. No one says heretic, but a lot of people skirt around it, saying there's something not quite right, something unsavoury about him.
Okay.
So so that's what you plant your seeds.
What's the what would I think is the, or would I even notice what the split is like? Which way does the favour lie in terms of Lucius being a bad guy or a decent guy?
It's hard to judge, but in this region, you think that it's maybe 60-40 against Lucius, perhaps even as much as 70-30.
Okay.
So he doesn't seem that popular. Morale isn't great.
All right.
Maybe it's the maybe it's the job, maybe it's the nutrient paste, the lack of
Yeah.
rations. You know, there's a lot of things. But you know, and the crew have been through quite a lot. I mean, you're aware of some of the Xenos attacks, and you know, there's obviously been the Orc attack recently, but there's also been before that an attack by the Dark Eldar on the way here. Now, most of your characters were asleep during this time, but not all the gunnery loaders were. So, you know, he's vented the ship more than once to space to defend against the Xenos. You know, there's rumours that the ship itself is haunted. And someone says, I'm sure I heard strange music on the corridors at night. It was a fiddle. Okay. So, Jan and
Arnold.
Yarnold.
Arnold.
Yarnold, you're on the other side of the ship
First play.
as it stands. I would like you please to make your strength rolls if you're doing the same thing. Chipping in, trying to
lead
improve
by
morale.
example.
You hand out your food. I'd also like you to make your awareness test, please. You get +10 for your strength roll because you've also got a food bonus here. So that means Brown's passed.
Be an off day for Yanni. Annie.
Okay. Yanni. Okay, yeah, so perhaps... oh, and one other thing I should say, Quintius, is that you've managed to cover up most of your beating from Arnold using your makeup and what have you, but you are still feeling like that fight that you had with Arnold the last few days. It's actually worse a few days later. That aching, you know, the pain that you're suffering, it's actually, you know, peaking perhaps now a few days after the fighting. You still really do know that you had a fight with Arnold, and you can still feel that all over your body to this day.
Good, because Quintius deserves it.
Okay. I'm sure he does. So, Jan and Arnold, you improve morale. You spend your time, you know, working up a bit of reputation with the gunnery loaders, and you. A lot of the rumours are repeats again. Again, you're picking up about the Platinum Jubilee. People looking forward to the celebrations ahead. They're wondering what will happen, what the Inquisitor will put on for us. You hear a rumour of you know, there's more engineers being seen outside of engineering, and a lot of disparaging comments about the engineers. People who think they're just not quite right. There's something wrong about those engineers. They're just too greasy. And yeah, so there's nothing much new in the on the rumour front.
How would you
for what? Sorry, for.
no, you're probably going to say it. Don't matter.
No, you don't know.
I was going to say how we're doing for looking for this man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was going to come to that, but yeah.
So I thought you just start speaking at the same time. So I was like, I'll go for it. Yeah.
It's all good, mate. I won't take offence if you're asking questions, and you know, I forget shit all the time. So, but no, I was just coming to that, and that was I'd like you to make your awareness test, please. One each. Oh no, sorry, it's awareness test at plus. It's awareness test for you, Jan, with +10 for Arnold. That's how we did it, wasn't it?
Minus.
This is, can you see the traitor on this side of the ship?
Is this?
Yeah.
What's this? Hello.
Let me use my fate one.
Okay, so Jan, you keep your eye out throughout the whole day. You don't see this guy, and you're starting to wonder, you know, are you barking up the wrong tree at all? You know, is he really a gunnery loader? You don't know, or have you just been unlucky so far? But there are, you know, thousands of crew on board, and you know, hundreds upon hundreds of gunnery loaders who work in shifts. making sure that all the cannons are ready to go at a given moment. So you haven't found your traitor so far. What's that for, Hayden?
Let's just press the initiative button because I can.
You're just keen as mustard. Just going to go for a wee. I'll be right back.
It's just because it's on your game. I had to.
To use my only fate point in case I desperately need it for a sidekick.
Yeah,
I think when you've only got one, you have to be careful when you use it. But when you get this late in the night, you know, chuck it at fucking anything.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try something really, really risky before we finish tonight. I'm gonna try
rep as well with these guys.
Sorry.
We're building a rep with these guys.
Well, yeah,
we've built rep with the gunners already by feeding them.
And what I'm going to do as well is, at the end of the day, I'm going to
our rumor mill anyway, isn't it? So
yeah. At the end of the day, I'm going to try and find a quiet corner and report back to you guys over the comm and let them know what I've learned about them today, which has multiple uses. You can use that information to build the rep further and also maybe weed out, dissidents. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I have to chuck you on the other half of the ship next time. See if you can get working around there.
There's not much I can do about that.
I mean, I can probably get you moved.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to do a bit of admin on you guys. Just give me a minute. So what's the date today? 3rd of the 1st. So,
very well this game. I've enjoyed this one.
Cool. I've enjoyed it quite a bit as well. So, right. So I'm just give me a sec. I just need to make a note of some of these degrees of success that you've made on improving morale and such. So I've been a bit lax there. So let me see. So that's a 2 degree. Yarn is so that's +1 for yarn. And then so that's actually 3 and 2. And then you had a fail, which is 1. And then yarn had a straight pass, that's 2. So that's 4 and 4. Okay. Rep with loaders. And then
Time to get good rep everywhere now.
It helps to get the army out and normalise them.
Yeah.
Yes. Infiltration. So we had 6 degrees, I think, on the first time, didn't we? Let's have a look. Yep, 6 degrees, and then we had 3 degrees, so a total of 9 on infiltration. Okay, so I think that's all the admin. Right, so I think that's the end of our day 7. It's not been as fruitful as some of the other days.
I'd like to add something onto the evening of day 7, if I may, Al.
Yeah, of course you can. Feel free.
It's only something quick, but I want to try and find a quiet corner or a toilet or something, and use my comm bead to contact Jan and Arnold.
Okay. Okay, you get through to them.
Okay. And I'm going to give them like a load of information that I've learnt. Tell them that my part of this is going well. That the people in the the gunnery loaders generally feel like they're a bit neglected. They could do with some better food. They keep getting this shitty paste. They think the ship's cursed. They're scared of airlocks. Maybe have a word with Alexa about that if you can. I'm going to tell them about the rumour about the dock, about the sleepwalking. There are definite seeds of dissent down here. There's a definite split, and it is not in Lucius's favour. And I'm going to tell them as well that my face still hurts. And that's it.
Okay. Is there anything you guys want to say to Quintius or to each other on the evening of day 7?
We'll let them know that we never spotted anybody, never spotted that man on both sides of the ship. Been hearing the rumours what we've been hearing as well. Not much change from the rumours which go from the other side of the ship. No one's really opened up today. That's it.
Okay, so you share with each other the various rumours that you heard. I might start putting these together in a handout if I feel particularly industrious. So yeah, that's probably be a good thing to do because they're starting to rack up.
Brilliant.
Okay, so if that's everything for the end of day 7, on the end of day 7, Nixios, you finish your pilotry course. You've had a crash course, if you will, on a number of the ship's vessels, the interceptors, the cargo lifters, the bombers, and obviously the Malevolence itself. So you gain your perk at the end of day 7. And tomorrow, Nixios, you've been asked to see Laura Skysinger, who has a new mission for you, a new important mission.
Oh, yeah.
Which you already know what it will be. So that's that's the end of day 7. And I think that's probably a good place to leave up for the night, guys.
Yeah, I think we've done great.
Yeah.
Cool.
Perfect. That was a good game.
It was. Enjoyed that.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. It's
nice and chilled, but still productive. Lots of learning.
Nice.
It's one of those games
nice.
where I came into the game not knowing what on earth was going to happen for the next fucking 3 or 4 hours, or whatever it is. So it's always
Getting on.
It's nice that it kind of worked out. So I'm happy.
Yeah. I was quite liking me and Brownie going around doing a bit at the same time, and I like the fact that Quintus is deep cover now.
Yeah,
Knows where
I mean,
Alexa
this is how it should be. We should all be working together while working apart, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Using our own skills to pursue the same agenda instead of just wandering off doing whatever.
So we're halfway through the first chunk of power play.
Hey.
7 days in. 7 more days to go.
Excellent.
And soon
Just
we'll
to
open
metagame a little bit, Hayden. I don't want to be in this position for 7 days, for another 7 days. So don't forget I'm here, because I'm going to need some help getting out.
Don't worry, I'm going to. My next move for you is to move you down to the other